everybody. Welcome back to the Project Manga Podcast, where we cover One Piece, My Hero, Dr. Stone, Jujutsu Kaisen, Mission Yozakura Family, and Ayashimon week to week. Back this week covering weekly Shonen Jump issues number 5 and 6. I'm your host, Eagle.
Knox.
And I'm Elias.
And as always, before we get started, we would ask that you take a look in that description box down below where you can find links to any and all of our individual social media accounts such as Twitter, online communities like Discord, audio listening platforms to consume the podcast on, as well as links to support the podcast like our Patreon or our online shop. And while we're talking about the online shop, we just wanted to mention that we have a bunch of new merch in there. So go and check that out. It's a lot of really dope merch. We collaborated with a few amazing artists on Twitter on some new designs inspired by anime and manga tropes. So we're really excited about that.
Yeah.
Give it a look. And we would really appreciate if you cop some of that merch. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
We try our best to make sure it's top of the line merch. And I feel like a lot of people that have bought it would vouch for that. So
Yeah.
I think it's free. Your support priceless.
Hey,
also, while you're down there, you'll find a convenient timestamps to navigate yourself through the video and avoid spoilers for sections that you are not current in the manga, if you so choose.
Yeah.
Also, while you're down there, like the goddamn video and subscribe to the channel for more Fire Weekly content.
Yes.
Word said, what a Fire Weekend Jump.
Yeah, another break after this. That's brutal.
Another break for
Teasing me.
Yeah. So there's no Shonen Jump next week. It's like 14 days before the next chapters come out. Yeah. That's how it was last season too, though. Like,
That is how it is at the beginning of every year.
Yeah,
like
sometimes
it's
they
always
be doing
fucking
that.
like this, but you know.
Yeah. Whatever. We got content to
Resting up for the
spare.
long haul.
Yeah, we'll have content, for the next break in the meantime. So that'll be cool. Yeah.
So yeah, well, let's get right into it. Ayashimon, chapter 7. You will make a pretty piece.
Yes. Love this chapter.
Yeah, we start off the chapter with like kind of the gang cleaning up the base. They come back, or what's his name comes back, the little frog guy comes back, and he's like, "Oh, big sis, I bought you some lunch and some, something to drink and a bunch of other stuff."
Whatever you need.
Yeah, starting to feel like a little team. I think this
They're
is
cleaning up.
I think this is a excuse me. I think this is a new location. I don't think we knew that they had this bar before.
No, this is the same. This is the same hideout they just took from the other gang, right?
Well, I thought that they destroyed that place that they were originally fighting in when she first brought up.
They fixed it up.
Yeah, they destroyed the office, and then this is like a bar. This is.
They said it's an abandoned bar.
Yeah.
That they knew about.
Yeah. So I think this is our first time kind of seeing this new little hideout that they've got, which is cool that they're posted up in a bar. I like that a lot. I think that's a cool location.
Cool that we,
yeah,
the location is tight. It's cool that we got to see a couple, just the two different sides of Urara's personality, where she comes up on the people helping, and then and she's like, "Oh, you guys are moving shit. It's cool to see some real men around here doing stuff." You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you guys. And then she's like, "Oh, this is dirty. You fucking idiots can't even clean up. What the fuck is wrong with you? I should just get rid of you myself." Yo.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yo," and she's like, "This is where you say I'm sorry, bitch."
Yeah.
And it's crazy with him. Yeah. That shit was so
same page too for both panels. You get her eyes closed, smiling, you guys are so useful. And then literally same position underneath bottom right panels, just hey. Ah! Yeah, you guys fucking suck.
I think she's just trying to figure out what way to handle them, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, she's like, "Oh, they'll take either type of abuse."
Yeah, because at first she's like, "Yo, you guys are cool, you guys are useful," and he's like, "Oh, sure." But then as soon as she cusses them out, they're like, "Yeah, turn that shit up," and it's like, "Okay, weirdo."
Yeah, no, it's
and then
sure. After being really flattering, and then she's really harsh on them. She's like, "That's what you say. I'm sorry, elder sister." "I'm sorry, elder sister," and he's like. And even the frog guy is just he looks way happier about the scolding, and he's just where's the other guy?
Yeah, it's this is how y'all live, huh? Y'all just constantly getting berated and cussed out and beat up, and that's the life for y'all. All right.
You guys were bullying me.
Yeah.
And then on the next page here we get what the fuck? Mauro,
the goat,
sitting here cracked out on the couch. They're like, "Yeah, he's been reading manga for the last 12 hours," and she's like, and
he's just like me.
12 hours, and it killed me in my reaction stream. Mello is in the chat. He said #me.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
he's
dead.
just
That shit
like
was
me
funny.
for
I
real.
spent too much time reading.
Yeah, dude, I love that.
But yeah, no, I love that. I wondered what I couldn't read the cover on the manga, so if anybody in the comments like knows translation stuff like that, and can
Oh,
tell me
let
what
me
manga
zoom in
series
here.
he's
Hold on.
reading,
If it's
I would love
katakana, I might be able to do something here. Hold on.
I zoomed in a lot. I'm trying to see what it looks like. I can't really tell like visually what it looks like on the cover. It looks like it's
visually
fancy hair, like a high collared shirt.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
honestly,
try.
it kind of looked like City Hunter kind of like thing.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking maybe he's reading City Hunter, just because like he kind of focuses on like the older manga like Kenshiro and Dragon Ball Z and stuff.
Right. Yeah, it would have to. It feels like it would like, and I don't remember exactly what time period we're in right now. I feel like, I want to say we're in late '90s in the setting of Ayashimon. So
The hair,
like look at those tracksuits.
The hair on the dude on the cover, and the collar of the shirt he's wearing makes me think that it looks like Jonathan Joestar.
oh, sure, but it definitely doesn't say JoJo on the top of the thing.
Yeah.
I can't make out all of the characters honestly.
Yeah, but if anybody in the comments
yeah.
would like let us know, please.
Yeah, let us know.
I'm kind of interested to see what.
I don't know. On the very top of the spine, that kind of does look like J.O.
Yeah, but yeah, I see what you're talking about right now. Yeah, it does on the spine have like a J and a O.
On the middle right panel, page 3.
Yeah, but that's just not the characters on the title. Yeah, there's just maybe it is, and maybe I just have no idea what I'm talking about. But either way,
I don't know. It's just like I said, just the hair and the collar of the shirt he's wearing reminded me of what Jonathan Joestar looked like. You know,
but like a lot of the earlier manga characters all kind of had like there was like a shared aesthetic inside of like manga art, especially like earlier, where everything looked like it was coming from like the Cyborg 009 or Kenshiro Fist of the North Star. Like there were multiple mangaka that were kind of just like borrowing that character design aesthetic, you know what I mean? Like you see it a lot in comic books, like especially in earlier like Golden Age stuff. Like everything in like the West kind of like felt like Neil Adams art, you know what I mean, or like John Byrne art. They all kind of shared it. Yeah.
Android Kikaider.
Yeah, Kikaider was my shit.
Watch that, bro. I need to watch that.
That
was one of my real throwback loves. You know.
Yeah, I love that opening.
I saw on, like late night Cartoon Network.
Yeah. That opening so nostalgic with like
anime and shit.
Yeah.
And I remember I asked you like, what is that anime with the robot character where his head is like half
split down the middle,
split down the middle, and one's half is lower, and you were like, "Oh, Android Kikaider."
That was my shit.
That's a series that I saw late night Cartoon Network. Never saw through because they always did that shit where they would run like the same 10 episodes on a loop. You know what I mean? And
it was very random feeling. Yeah, absolutely.
I gotta figure out where you can watch that and watch it through.
There's so many. Like I'll
like,
literally send you the
like
fucking site. Yeah, I'll send you the site right now. I loved Android Kikaider, man. It had like such a
I don't pirate anime, sir.
Oh well, whatever.
I'm just kidding.
Go check Funimation then. Good luck. I don't fucking know like how to VRV
trying to get
or whatever.
Another Crunchyroll account. Come on.
But yeah, dude.
That's just funny.
That was my shit, dude. Such a memorable like opening theme. It's like there's no dialogue. There's like no singing. It's literally just like acoustic guitar. Like, fucking love that shit. But yeah, man.
And I don't remember anything about the plot or anything. I just remember it being a show that I loved a lot. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's a good one. But getting back to Ayashimon, I love this next scene that we get where, these big mafia suit guys and Miss Syndicate's pulling up, and Urara kind of like pulls a strand of hair out and like loops it around to create like, a telescoping like binocular effect or something to kind of like just see farther into the distance. I think that's cool. It made me like ask myself like,
hair technique.
Yeah, like if her powers are like hair, you know what I mean? Like if her powers like come from her hair, that'll be really cool. But whenever it's early in a series and the power system's kind of getting fleshed out, I always ask myself like, is this a special technique of the individual, or is this like just shared energy system stuff that like people would be able to tap into in some kind of
can anyone just take a
yeah, you know what I mean? Like, is that just like, base level, power
do they have
stuff,
a talent for it?
Yeah, or is
like,
exactly.
Cool.
But I think we could be pretty confident that Urara's powers are going to like kind of just come from her hair in various ways, which would
I
just be really
think
cool
so.
too. Yeah.
I I was looking through this because of like Jujutsu Kaisen and Ayashimon. They have a lot of yokai and stuff.
Yeah.
And ones that I found was the Heriona,
Okay.
which is frightening female ghoul in Japanese mythology. Her name means barbed woman.
Oh.
Is said to be a beautiful woman with extremely long hair tipped with thorn-like barbs. Hair's under her direct control, and she uses it to ensnare men, sent to wander the roads. And when she finds a young man, she'll smile at him, and if the young man dares to smile back, Harionago will drop her terrible barbed hair intact. So I thought about like how they met along the side of a road,
Yeah.
and she was smiling at him the first time she met him.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
like even like in the first 2 pages where she meets these minions, she smiles at them and then she's like, okay, yeah, no, I can be catty to you now.
Yeah.
I think it's like maybe it's her yokai nature is to like smile first and then react later.
Yeah. That's cool.
But like definitely because like she has a ton of hair, so
Yeah.
like to me it makes sense, and she does have like the hair horns and the sharp teeth, the barbs to me kind of make sense.
Yeah. I can't wait to see her finally turn up. I know that that's like being
Fight for
saved
her
and
life.
it's gonna be like epic when she finally, gets down to business with whatever her fighting style is or whatever. I just
I
can't
wonder
wait to see
what
that shit.
I kind of want to see what her like true form is.
Type shit. Yeah, I want to see like what her
Yeah.
Ayashimon, like yokai form is and how and it's just such a good idea from Yuji Kaku to like put the focus on Mario, obviously because he's the main character. You want to see him do his thing, but then the deuteragonist is being built up at the same time, and I can't remember too many series where they don't just put cards on the table in that way, you know what I mean, especially for a character like Maruo who is brand new to this life and this underworld of Ayashimon. You know what I mean? Like, you'd think that the deuteragonist who has stake in the game, who comes from this lifestyle, would put their abilities on display, pretty early so that you could just have that. You know what I mean? But they're really just letting Maruo go with his punching thing while she just kind of sits back and delegates and provides exposition on the world around them whenever it makes sense. And whenever it finally comes down to like, let's see what Urara can do, the amount of time that it's taken to kind of get there is going to make that really epic. I think that's going to be a drastic payoff. I can't wait for that.
Yeah,
Oh
definitely.
man,
Yeah.
I really enjoy the transition from page 5 into like basically the transition through like page like the next phase after they're just like, hey, there's a lot of these yokai out there during the day. That's kind of weird. We should lay low.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like she's the brains. She's great. She like sees them. She's like, oh, she already knows that Almio agent like leaked information about them, is already connecting the dots. And then the little guy.
What little guy?
Our little guy.
The dude
frog
whose face
boy.
goes like red or black or whatever color that is. I
Yeah,
hope it's
he
I hope
tur-
it's like red or like some other kind of like color, because that's
like
just
dark blue.
yeah,
Yeah,
some
yeah.
shit that's just like so
Um,
awkward. Stark black.
I don't know
big
what
white
I
eyes.
really want his like yokai
Ayashimon
to be
form?
disclosed.
His yokai
I
form?
want to see
Yeah.
I want to see what it is, because part of me thinks of there's like a Japanese story called Tofu Boy, and it's like a one-eyed, long-tongued little kid that like sneaks up on you and like offers you tofu, and then like
Oh wow.
if it's normal tofu it's fine, and if it's like you might eat it and then you'll notice it's like molding and like be dying. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, it's kind of interesting that like he goes out of his way to give gifts of food, so like maybe that's his thing. So like
Yeah.
it'd be kind of funny to call him Soy Boy or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because
So
he's definitely an herbivore. Like,
yeah, type shit.
and no, he's a little guy.
Yeah. So what's up with this like weapon that the I already can't remember her name. I know that we got it last chapter or the chapter before or something like that.
The chick with the
The-
tattoo
the-
gun.
yeah, the chick. Oh, it's a tattoo gun. Okay.
I think it's a Dremel actually.
What is
Oh.
that? I have no idea.
Might be a-
So a Dremel is basically a power tool similar to like a drill. It's basically looks like that. It spins really fast, and then it has a bunch of different attachments that can be used to carve wood.
Okay.
Carve
Ow.
wood, carve wood, drill into metal, like drill bits and stuff. It's used to shape like stone and things.
Sure.
Like
Yeah, and it
it's
would make like a sweet kind of
Yeah.
noise like it
Yeah.
does on
yeah,
page 5 here when she's
Damn.
like, and it would like grind his ear off, yo.
Yeah. She put it to
But
the
yeah,
ear. I was like, what the fuck? That's
because
too savage. Fuck you. Ow.
that's because like the like the splurt
Yeah.
was like what to me is like I don't know if it's a tattoo gun anymore. And then she's like, bring him to my lab, and I'm like, oh, that sounds so clinical. It's
Yeah.
probably a Dremel tool.
Sure.
Um,
Ouch, dude.
but yeah, you can use it for sculpting.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like
Um,
so Yakuza to like use tools like that for torture. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like shit like that's clearly not supposed, woodworking, stone carving, like tools or
You know.
whatever, you know what I mean? Like little shit like that that you wouldn't expect to be turned into a weapon on somebody. Yakuza always, and just mafia motherfuckers in general, just like love
Yeah.
using that kind of
yeah.
shit on people. So like that tracks, that fits the vibe.
It reminds me of like Something is Killing the Children, where she's like going to the like department store and like
Oh.
buying all the power tools.
Yes.
And he's like, it's like shrubbery, right? And she's like, yes.
Yeah. We're trimming
Leaves.
shrubbery, absolutely. Just
Yeah.
what's my-
Sure.
But
No,
but yeah,
that's
man.
so hard, brutal though. Like
Yeah.
just straight to the ear.
Yeah.
Get this like tusk-toothed Oni looking dude.
Yeah, and she's just like, I think, what is she like, pestering him for information or whatever, like trying to find Maruo and Urara. That's cool. And then her like big like bodyguard dude, not bodyguard, but just like her whoever her homeboy is with the giant hands comes in, fucking.
I think he's hitting a different place.
I thought he was in a
like-
different place as well.
Because like if you look at the suits, they're all different.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. So they're just like spreading around,
yeah.
covering more ground. Trying to find
All
these
the
guys.
named faced lieutenants go with a squad and just rough up places and just like
Trying to get the
but
information.
she's so
Not
whimsical though.
fucking
Like, she's like, it's nothing personal. I just want to feel. It's like I've never seen them. It's like you haven't. And what the heck am I doing here? You totally wasted my time. Blows off his arms and legs, keeps him alive, and it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna go like fuck with him.
Yeah.
And like I like how Yamo's just like, hey, it won't be anything. We've got kind of a Cold War stalemate going on. And the guy's just like, hey, you're fucking with me. You know this is war, right? And she's like, of course we're at war. You think
Yeah.
I wouldn't be doing this if we weren't already at war?
Right. Like, what are you guys are late.
You're
You know what I
still
mean? I
going
was
on my
like-
slab, son.
Yeah, I was like, damn. And I just love the big guy with the hands, because like any character who is like too big to walk through like doors normally, and their entrance is always them bending down to walk in the door. Like this dude just ran into he like ran into the top of the door frame and like broke it. Like I just love that. My homeboy's reading The Breaker right now. And like I'm just like remembering
so
like big immovable steel wall, like the big ass dude, like with the, it kind of looks like Moral from Hunter x Hunter. His first introduction is him just bending over and walking through a door, like that character. Just like I just love that fucking character every time.
This dude looks like Moral with like the
He does got that vibe.
Yeah,
rolled up sleeves with the tie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they always look
Dude,
like that.
I like their styles though.
Yeah,
Like it shows a lot of like the lieutenant's personalities in a very short amount of time. Like this lady, she's probably like some kind of like
Sadistic, experimental.
I
weird.
think she might be like Kamataichi type. Like
reminds me of
like
that
the
chick from
sickle
Black
weasel.
Clover. Reminds me.
She's
of
like the one that helps Buddy make his sculptures and shit, his art.
yeah.
Oh sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
She's like a sickle weasel, where like the wind scythe, because she does like the wind jutsu Zephyr thing. Where it just, like,
Yeah, let's
blows
talk
off his
about that.
arms.
Yojutsu Zephyr. Okay, so this is really
It's
fucking
like
cool.
elemental magic.
Yeah, like I love to see shit like that.
She like blows, which goes along with the Zephyr, the wind spirit kind of vibe. So she's got like wind powers, I guess, probably.
Yeah, I wonder what style Yojutsu is. Yojutsu.
It might be yokai jutsu. So, like,
Oh
demon
yeah,
art.
there we go.
Demon art Zephyr. So like I think that she's, and like there's that like, I think she's like the weasel, right? Like the scythe weasel. I don't
Yeah.
know, Kamataichi.
That's tight.
That's my theory. I don't really know too much, but she is kind of whimsical and like.
I liked your idea
very
from the
brutal.
last review where you were talking about her and the big-handed guy like together.
Oh,
or
being a
whatever.
duo?
Yeah, being
Yeah,
a
true,
duo.
true, true.
Yeah, I like what you said about that. But I mean, like now we're
Yeah.
seeing her powers, and it's kind of falling
It's like
along with other research.
maybe
So
it's not. Like
yeah.
who knows? I mean, it's pretty tricky because like when you do like lamprey style demon characters that like lure people in,
Hmm.
I like like if that is her route, I like that fact because it kind of takes away the whole like, oh, you have to be attracted to me for me to work. It's like, no, she's just brutal and like gets her shit done, and like
Yeah.
while this guy just kind of like tears things apart, he's very brusque, doesn't say a thing, just holds two pictures. No, pulls that guy apart, probably goes to the next dude, just like, hey, you seen these two dudes? And they're
Yeah.
just like, yeah, I've seen those dudes.
Yeah, and I love this like older, drippy lieutenant guy.
Yes.
I don't know like what's good with him or what his role is or like how he has any kind of pull in anything. I'm assuming he's got to be cold in some kind of way. Short,
He is,
short older
though.
characters usually do beyond that, but I just don't know like what his situation is yet. They didn't really show any of his capabilities, I don't think.
Like
yeah,
it shows his like thinking though.
yeah.
And it's just like he has the guys beating the fuck up, trashes the place worse than the other good two guys, and then it's like more methodical about it. It's like, so you insist you don't know? It's like, we don't know anything. It's like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
You're backed by these guys. We're gonna kill all but one of you. Send a
Yeah.
message. Boom, boom. There is one guy that he reminded me his face of. It's called Abura Sumashi, and it's basically those like it looks similar to like a stone Jizo. He just looks like a squat creature with a straw coat covered body and a potato like stony head.
Okay.
And they're basically thought to be the ghost of humans who steal oil.
Oh wow, that's specific.
Because
yeah.
before electricity, oil was the most valuable thing for
Right.
like lighting and heating a home. So like theft of
Right.
the oils, particularly from shrines and stands, would lead to like the punishment of being reincarnated into a yokai. But they're like 3 feet tall and they're like shriveled little potatoes, and I'm like, that's our guy.
Yeah, that is a very nice description for that. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
Like,
I was just like, because his little wrinkly potato head, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, I just read about this.
Yeah.
This dude, it's got to be him.
I like the scene transition back to the protagonist because they're like on top of this roof or whatever. It's like we got to stay down, we got to lay low, boom, 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 and then you turn the
This will
page.
blow over eventually.
Yeah, and then you turn the page and it's
Hey.
fucking Dopo Akari, and I just love the page turn factor inside of Yuji Kaku's work. I feel like I'm noticing it a little bit more in Ayashimon than I remember it inside of Jigo Karaku, but just like knowledge of like panel space and just like composition of like comic book page layouts allows for this kind of thing, because like whether you're reading it swiping on like a phone one page at a time, or whether you're reading it in book format, the page turn is on the right page, the first page that you get to, so like you don't fuck up the page turn by putting it on like the left side so that you can like see it before it's ready or whatever. So like that kind of attention to detail is like very
well
good.
aware.
Yeah, super aware of like just comic book composition, you know what I mean? So I love that, because I was not ready to just see Dopo at the top of the stairs. I was like, oh
I wasn't either.
God.
Yeah, that page turn was drastic.
Yeah, it was so I was like, holy shit.
He looks as surprised as I am.
Yeah, and he's like, oh shit, the
like,
people
oh,
we're fucking looking
holy
for. This is
shit.
crazy. What did I send my goons out to go cause trouble over here for?
You know, that's one of
No.
those moments where, like, in an anime, it would be like a ho,
Yeah.
bingo.
Yeah, type shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh man. I like that they named this dude the Ungaikyo. It means mirror beyond the clouds, and it's a possessed mirror that can manipulate the reflection to resemble what they prefer. And
Where's this?
humans that look
On page 11. Bottom right panel.
they talk about the guy's
Oh,
mirror and
yep,
like it
yep.
being accurate.
Okay.
His original power is that like it possesses a mirror and then it shows you what it wants to show you. So it would show humans as like monstrified humans. So but like in Castlevania and like most fantasy, mirrors are used for scrying. So like this makes sense.
Yeah, that's tight. Yeah, I love that. I love the way that it like just, and we were talking about it in our like first impressions, review or whatever, but like the blending of these themes and the lore like kind of just being so cool to like look back at older shit while you're in like a more modern like setting where it's like almost recent times, but you're dipping so deep into folklore and just like mythology and whatnot for the overall world. It's just a great combo for, especially for a creator like Yuji Kaku. He's already going crazy in this. I love how menacing and how like regal Dopo Akari is in just his dialogue, his aesthetic, everything about it.
Design on his
Yeah,
vest.
like this Casanova Frankenstein style like clothing aesthetic inside of the Enma Syndicate is like and just inside of the Yakuza in general for bigger name people or people that consider themselves big name is just like so good on the eyes. And then also just the way that you can feel the threat level of a character like Dopo Akari just like right away, just in his dialogue, the way he talks to you. He's like, he knows you're lying type shit, which is what we talked about like last week, where he knows how to get the truth out of you in like really sneaky, like underhanded ways with just like point blank questions that don't like, you know, like it didn't really feel like he was going to get the information that he got out of Urara and the conversation that he was having, but he's like, yep, bingo. You know, take a look at this car over here. You know what I'm saying? Like my car is pretty. Yeah, he's like, you like my car? Yeah, he's like, you like my whip? Check it out. Get a good look. Get a closer look. You know what I'm saying? She's like, and then that reaction, he's like, yep. You are who we are looking for. Hashihime,
your eyes flinched.
Yeah, Hashihime means a lot to you. We got her wrapped up in the car, like, you know, it's over with. And then Maruo's just like, hey, I'm here. Boom! Tries to punch him and he just grabs his shit like effortlessly. And I love that we're getting that this early. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how long running Dopo is going to be as an antagonist or a villain. He is a very early villain, so you literally never know.
Might get wrecked.
Yeah, you literally never know. But seeing, you know, Maruo, whose punch has just been so effective up until this point, being stopped effortlessly by this antagonist just made me feel really good, because I really didn't want this to go the Mashle One Punch Man route that intensely. So having Maruo hit a wall, you know what I mean, this early is really good for Ayashimon, I think. You know what I mean? Because we always knew it was going to happen. If your fighting style is just punching through things, eventually you are going to hit a wall, and that's going to allow for exposition to come in to like give us more information about how power works in this world, how, you know, you can't just punch your way through every single thing. So that's like a very organic vehicle for exposition like that, is the main character suddenly not being effective at what they usually do. So now we have to actually take a step back and go, okay, this is why that didn't work. You know what I mean? And this is, you know, how the power works, and maybe you can tap into this in ways that allow you to get past defenses like these that you can't just punch through. And I'm just like really excited that we're getting this before chapter 10. So
yeah,
dude, I like how Urara tries to be such a cool character, because like Tadpole Boy just immediately cracks. I'm kidding. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Don't know what I did, but whatever it is, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And she's just like, my goodness, how intimidating. Could you please not be so scary? You know, we're just here to check things out. And he's like, oh yeah, you got guts.
Yes.
You'll lie to my face, you fake ignorance. All right, you're doing things right. I expect you to try to lie to me.
Yes.
And then throws her off with the psychological, check out my car.
Yeah.
Look what's inside. Check. Did I deck out my interior nicely? And she's like, yeah, I saw the flinch. Let's go.
Yep.
You're with me.
Yep.
But I like
who we need.
but like I love Maruo's shirt. You can see the zoom in on 16. The little like spirit fires on the axe match the spirit fires on her yukata.
Tight. Nice spot.
Yeah. They got like a little, you know, the little couple's clothes, you know. It's like,
yeah, that's cool,
dude. She's like, you're my number one guy. Well, to be honest, compared to these chumps, you're my only guy.
You're right. Yeah, hell yeah, that's really cool, man. I never noticed that. That's tight. What else is on here? Because you could see on the last page of the chapter, he's got like not numbers. They're like bow ties.
It looks like butterflies or ribbons.
Yeah.
I think it's like butterflies or moths.
Bow ties, it looks like.
Yeah,
you can see also in page 16 close up, you can see one or two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It might be like a ribbon, or it might be a bug.
Yeah, something like that. That's cool though. I wonder if
like a stylized like moth or something, because like, so you know, there's the grave of the fireflies kind of thing.
Right.
Like...
Yeah. So on page 18, he grabs his arm and it like kind of bursts out with this like what looks like it could be flame or maybe steam or smoke, and then he's like, oh, hot. Wait, no, actually it's kind of cold.
Yeah.
So what do you think is going on with his ability here? Do you think? I mean, I'm thinking it might be some kind of like dry ice, liquid nitrogen,
Yeah.
so cold that it feels hot type
Yeah.
shit. Because he
Yeah.
grabs in him, it looks like kind of fire, but I'm thinking it might be like steam, kind of what comes off dry ice,
Ooh.
Yeah.
bursting
Yeah,
out of,
yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
That's cool. I mean,
I like that a lot.
I don't know like how that would translate in like full, full powered attacks. Like it seems like this is just like for the sake of this specific moment, it like the dry ice situation or like the if it's liquid nitrogen, then like yeah, he's just an ice user or whatever the fuck it is, you know what I mean? Like that would be cool too. But if it really is like a dry ice effect where he just like grabs you and then it starts steaming hot and cold or whatever, I don't know like what that looks like in full powered combat. But like I'd be ready for some shit like that or however they choose to portray that. But I
It'd be
honestly
nice
just
to
assumed it was just fire. I don't know. I didn't really think too much about it. So
Yeah.
this is a cool conversation right now because now I'm really thinking
Yeah.
like,
Because he says it's kind of cold, and I do have like those moments where like the brain is tricked by intense temperature, thinking it's one thing, expecting one thing,
yeah,
and then like the coldness is supernatural. And like I think that like based off his like really warm looking coat, it kind of makes sense that he'd use like an ice based attack.
yeah,
Especially after that interaction with Maruo.
yeah,
He might be some sort of like Yuki-onna kind of thing,
mm,
like an ice spirit,
yeah.
or a spirit of winter,
Or it
which would
just
make
could
sense.
be, it could be like kind of like what I was talking about earlier in the review about how it's like base level, just abilities, right? Because it's like if this is just like him flexing his spiritual pressure or ki or whatever the base level,
Yeah,
kind of power, is and how it manifests, and it's just like I grabbed your shit and now I'm just like hitting you with raw energy. And that's
demon
just
energy.
yeah,
Yeah,
like raw demon energy, and that's kind of how it manifests. Like that would be really cool. And he has like
Yojutsu,
yeah,
Winter's Touch.
yeah, it has like
Mm.
it has like an entirely different like skill set for his like main powers or whatever, or like his like individually like specific, special technique. You know what I mean? I think that would be cool if this was just like a key energy dispersal flex at base level. You know what I mean? I think that would be tight too.
Oh man, so after I think that this is gonna be Marua's first loss, and then Tadpole Boy is gonna be like, "Hey man, we gotta go help her, right?" Or like it's impossible or something like that. He's gonna be like an impetus, like either he's gonna trigger him by saying we can't do it, or we have to do it. Who else is gonna do it?
Yeah,
Um, we just have to be smarter about it,
yeah.
and then
Yeah, I don't think
because
I don't think
I
Maruo
don't think
loses here. I don't think Maruo loses here, and I don't think he beats Dopo either. I think that this gets interrupted because it's like it's just too early for big named antagonists to either go down entirely,
Yeah.
obviously, or I mean, like he could definitely whoop up Maruo, but like I mean, after he whoops Maruo, then like the fucking story's over because he's you know what I mean, like Rara
yeah.
and Maruo will either be captured or killed. So I think that this gets split up in some kind of crazy way, and you have your first clash, see what the capabilities are, test the waters a little bit, and then disperse, and then come back for a real
Yeah.
confrontation later. Is how I'm kind of feeling it.
It might be a thing where like Maruo like breaks the floor because he's like, "Oh, I'm getting my ass kicked."
Yeah, let's get out of here. Boom. And
Let's get out of here.
if that's like a running thing that their base always gets destroyed by Maruo.
It's like a Cowboy Bebop thing where like, we
Yeah.
got the bounty. We've incurred so much collateral damage that we're broke.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
got the bounty.
Yeah,
We're
that I
broke
think
again.
that would be funny as hell. You know what I mean? Like they just can never have a specific, hideout. Maruo always
That's her
destroys it.
Sisyphean feat is have a hideout.
Yeah, yeah, that's hilarious. That's all I had for Ayashimon this week, though.
That's about all I had too, I think.
Yeah. I think the only other option for intervention is possibly like the Amyoji agents.
I don't think they
being
do
like,
that
"Hey."
again because they literally just
Yeah.
did that. Like they
They
literally,
stick them on them.
yeah, they have come in and interrupted a situation twice now. So it's like if that's
Unless
what
they're
you
gonna
want
come
to
in
do,
on some like actual dastardly shit and try and really
Well,
manipulate.
yeah,
Come in like,
I was
saved you. We're actual good guys. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Even though they
no,
sick them on them.
I was
Yeah.
thinking that they're like, "Hey, you're at war and you're fighting these people. We're rounding you all up for questioning."
Oh, sure.
Like they literally caused the hornet's nest to go wild,
And
so
now that
they
it's
had an
going
excuse
wild, yeah,
to arrest everybody, but really arrest the people that they wanted.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Now that you guys are all together, like we talked to you individually and we talked to you individually, and now that you guys have kind of met up, now we have all of the probable cause to arrest you now or whatever, since you guys are clearly
and then
fighting.
you know, Dopo will get off
Yeah.
for something. He's like, oh yeah, no, I barely did anything. I just touched his arm. I'm sorry, I didn't do anything. You know,
I can totally see Onmyo Bureau dude pulling up and freezing the situation again. You know what I mean? The way that he did before, and Mario just being like, all right, this is the second time I've been fucking frozen in this way. And like last time I felt like I could maybe break out, but like now I'm actually gonna do it.
JoJo's. And I've been reading JoJo's Adventures, so I've been practicing.
Or whatever it is. Yeah.
Man, I've been watching JoJo's Part 6 on Netflix. Oh, that shit's so fire.
Hell yeah. I'll jump into JoJo's eventually.
Jolene is quickly becoming my favorite JoJo, but there's only 12 episodes on there right now. I watched them all. I'm wondering if more are going to come out. But like Netflix usually releases
everything at once.
All of what they're going to release at once. So I'm wondering if it's going to be like a two-parter, like Stardust Crusaders, or
if it didn't feel like it was the proper like ending for the story, then yeah, I'm assuming that it'll be part 2 they'll hit you with eventually. But
yeah, I don't know. Somebody let me know in the comments if you know. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, well with that I think we can go ahead and get right into chapter 112 of Mission Yozakura Family. Mission 112.
Yes.
Ai's parent.
Love this chapter, man. I love
nice little feel good kind of transitional chapter, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and these are like I love, like we've talked about it before, but I just love how Yozakura Family can either give you, 5 to 6 chapter arcs or just like one chapter with a whole story in it, you know what I mean? And this is like one of those wholesome, family chapters that just has such good character writing throughout because of how well this kind of situation has kind of been established in the series so far. Like, Ai is fucking so cute. I love how Mutsumi and Taiyo are like her surrogate parents, and they're just like establishing this dynamic between just these three, because it's like it was the parental aspect has obviously been missing from Mission Yozakura Family in like this kind of aspect, you know what I mean? Like we know that mom and dad and we have history for characters like that, but as far as like them actually interacting with each other in this kind of way, this is kind of new, you know what I mean? And it's just perfect for Mutsumi and Taiyo to be the surrogate parents of a character like Ai, because everybody else is like, you have like God, why am I blanking? Futaba, you know what I mean? Like she's the oldest sister, obviously. The cringy oldest brother. Why am I blanking on everybody's names right now? It was like so good. What's the oldest brother with the steel spider?
Wires?
Yeah, what's his name? For some reason, God. I'm like drawing a blank on that. Hold on one second. Nah, we should know this. This is annoying.
It's right on the tip of my tongue.
Koichiro.
Yeah,
Kyoichiro.
Yeah, Kyoichiro, right? So like he's obviously the oldest brother, the oldest sibling, but he's not, like that parental feeling character, you know what I mean? And like Futaba would be like the next one because she's like the older sister and she is more involved on a family level inside of her personality, but she still just feels like an older sister. But like this is like actual like mom and dad shit going right now, which I didn't realize I was really kind of like missing from the family dynamic. So I'm like happy to get this kind of dynamic in these three characters like that. That was it took me forever to fucking say that, but yeah,
it really makes sense because like dad is like a bad guy and then the mom is dead, so like and then they never really talk about much like Taiyo's parents. I think he's an orphan.
That was like the first thing we found out about him, is that his whole family died except for him in that car crash.
But I do like it because like they found a way to create the whole like shotgun wedding dynamic for high schoolers and get them to have that like parent-child dynamic without ever touching on like physical contact or anything, and like maintaining a level of moral purity that I prefer to see in manga.
Yeah, it's a lot more platonic than you would expect, of romance that's come to marriage would be.
It's
You know
so
what I mean?
wholesome.
Yeah, it's very
It's so
wholesome. It
wholesome.
doesn't need to go there, and it doesn't like really want to go there, at least not right now. If it does like get to a point later on in the story where Mutsumi and Tayo are a
I
lot
feel like they're
more,
gonna be adults by that.
yeah, a lot more like romantic, like a more of a romantic situation will come way later, and that just makes so much sense for a story like Yozakura. There's so much going on in these characters' lives every single day that like there's just not a whole lot of room for that. And I feel like even though it would fit in a story like Yozakura Family, obviously that is very wholesome and very slice of life with all these shoujo beats going on, that it would, eventually come to that and it would be cute and it would make sense. But they're really holding off on it inside of Mission Yozakura Family, and I feel like that's just going to slap so hard later on when they do finally like kiss or something. You know what I mean? Like that's gonna be epic. Yeah.
I mean, based on like page 3, like bottom thing where Tayo is just like, I need to dry the sheets, wash the windows, tidy up the library, weed the garden, organize dinner. Oh, we're having pork cutlets tonight, and like he doesn't have time to like
Right.
be like get a little PDA or anything. He's just like,
Right.
I got shit to do
Yeah.
all the time, 24/7. I'm on a mission, on and off the clock. There's no clock out for this kid.
Right. No
Nice.
days off.
Tonkatsu.
Dude, tonkatsu
it's-
so good. As soon as I saw that they were trying to cook tonkatsu, I was like, oh my god, I need to fucking cook that scene. I cooked it last year for the first time. Just like obsessed with that dish. Like
Nice.
just been wanting to get back to it. Like it's so good.
I've been wanting to like do this thing with like chicken and kind of like braise it in sauce and cook it as like almost like a fried oven baked fried chicken, but like
Oh yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Oh man, sorry, I'm getting distracted by food.
No, it's all good.
Blind.
Yeah, food will
Like,
do that.
I have a similar obsession with food, so like I'm
Yes.
also very food motivated.
Absolutely.
Like this 3-foot
Yes.
tall wolf girl.
Yeah. Oh,
And it was cool seeing just this little eye-centric chapter we got here, and like her little adventure to go and get the tonkatsu pork meat.
Yes.
And she goes to like the butcher they usually go to get it, and he's like, nah, we're out of it. You know what I'm saying? She's like, oh, where y'all get it at? And he's like, oh, plays, and she's like, oh, bet.
Yeah.
Runs
I'm
out,
gone.
Takes off.
asks the cop. You know what I'm saying? Like, where's this at? He's like, you gotta take the train down that way. And she's like, oh, bet. Runs all the way to a
Wait,
different.
take the train.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
She's running faster than the train.
Running faster
yeah.
than the train. That's so sick.
Dude,
Goes to
and
hunt.
then that kind of like
And like at one point, Tayo poses as a random ass hunter.
Yeah.
And the dialogue and the speech that we get from her just about how she wanted to really go and get this pork to do them a favor because she's been noticing like a sad error on the house, and they take such good care of her
Yeah.
that she wanted to make them happy for once. And that was just like a really hard hitting moment for me when I was in
Yeah.
when I was reading it in my reaction stream.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, that speech goes so hard because it's like I feel like it just touches so many people. At least me, like unknowingly, like I've definitely like felt this way inside of like care providers that I've had throughout like my earlier life. You know what I mean? Where like it's so hard to not feel like a burden when you come into this situation the way that I did, or similarly to how I did, obviously, because we're not in a fictional story. But like whenever, like I feel like it's just so relatable to want to do more for the people who are your guardians, who are taking care of you,
Yeah.
and you can tell that they're older and that they're keeping things from you because you're young and naive and don't understand it. You can't really put all the pieces together, but you can tell that they're going above and beyond, and you just want to do that same thing for them no matter what, especially without communicating to them exactly how you feel, because you want to reciprocate that, kind of feeling of protection. You know what I mean? And that feeling of it's unspoken. We don't need to, say everything all the time, but we can, show our love in these ways. And this is just like a perfect chapter for that, to like kind of like show the appreciation that I has for, Tayo and Mutsumi and the whole family for taking her in the way that they did.
Yeah. I mean, this is a great one because like I really wasn't fleshed out, but this chapter really just like really rounded her out, and like she's definitely grown while in the care of the Yozakura family. Like even in like the back to first page, I had some very sharp ears. I howls and roars, the sound will reach the moon. When I's tail swishes and whips up a storm, and it reminds me of like God, it reminded me of this young girl doing like affirmations that her dad was like having her say, like, I am strong, I am enough, I am smart, every day to like hype herself up and like really think, and it just shows how much positive encouragement she's received, that she's just vibing with herself now,
Right.
Hell yeah.
based on where she came from. And then I like how protective Tayo and Mutsumi are, but at the same time they're like
Distant, letting her, experience and grow.
Yeah.
Mutsumi had Koyoichiro. She understands the value of not being a helicopter
Overbearing.
parent.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Hey, no, let her have her agency. This is her
Yeah.
thing. We're gonna,
Wow. That's a
we'll
great.
watch from a safe distance." It's like,
Yeah. That's a great point for sure. And I love
yeah,
how
she didn't
like
even mention it.
the entire chapter they're obviously following her through her like errands and everything she does. They're just like dying of like cuteness overload, which is just like does so much for the feeling of their dynamic and like their relationship as characters. But then also when this old man comes out of the out of the woods and she like tosses him away and she's like, oh my god, she listened to the advice, she's not doing, she's not listening to stranger danger or whatever, and like that's just like so adorable. And it's like when you find out that that was Tayo the whole time, at least for me, I was like, oh man, of course. And that's so adorable. They're letting her do her thing, but it's not like, even though they're there every leg of the way while she's trying to go do this on her own, and they're disguising themselves to what?
I'm sorry. Just continue. You didn't realize it was Tayo at first with the
old man? No, he ripped the disguise off, and I was like, oh
there
shit.
was a panel like right after he appeared, like when he first appears.
Yeah.
On
it was
page,
the top left corner.
On page right.
I must have missed it, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, on page 12 in the top left panel. It's like the hunter's face with Tayo's face right behind it.
Yeah, I see it now. Yeah. And that makes a lot of sense.
I completely masked my smell.
Yeah, I didn't
Sorry.
it's all
it
good.
just threw me off when you were like, oh, when I realized at the end, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, so the point of why I'm bringing this up is the point of why I'm bringing it up is because like I thought about it and I'm like, okay, they want to let her go do her thing and run her errands and be her own, kid and accomplish this because it means something to her, even though they're there every step of the way, kind of facilitating the entire completion of the errand. It's not so over, like it doesn't take away from the importance of everything that happened, where it's like, oh, they helped her with like literally everything and they were there watching the whole time. They didn't let her actually do what she needed to do because they were kind of there. They were just there enough, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They didn't disenfranchise any of her choices.
Yeah.
They were just spectating purely. Yeah.
Right, they were purely spectating, let her do her thing, and it didn't feel like you want to go do this, but like you
think you're a big person.
Yeah, it didn't.
Wasn't condescending.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I'm going. Sorry, I was just like so thrown off by the correction. I was like, what am I even talking about anymore? But yeah. But I just love that, man. I love
pretty much.
Tayo and me.
Tayo just stepped out and was just like, what's up? Started a fire. Was like, that's the way back. You know what I'm saying? And she took off. Like, didn't really help her out at all.
Right.
Yeah, she finished hunting on her own. I like how Mutsumi is just like, she's able to tell which kinds of mushrooms are poisonous or not, and Tayo's just like, I mean, I guess it's cool. Like, he's like, this is sidetracked. I did like the moment where she's like, I'm lost. If I get lost, I'm supposed to ask for a police officer. You are in the middle of the woods, sir. Like,
there are none.
Yeah. There are none. I love that. That's such a kid moment where you're just like, yes.
Tayo steps out as the hunter, like, hey, little girl. And she's like,
I can't.
Any strangers?
Yeah.
Toss them away.
Yeah.
And you're like,
her like evil, like little like shadow face in that panel.
She's back there like in the post, like, I just tossed him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like, I did what my parents told me.
He's in the bush, feet up, like, she remembered her lessons. Good girl.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I was definitely feeling the exact same things that Mutsumi and Tayo were commenting on.
Feel good.
What a good kid.
Yeah.
And the art and like shading and just everything through the like from page 13 on through like 17, like through the speech.
Yeah,
was just fantastic, man. Like the panel of Ai on the bottom of page 15 with the fire reflecting off the front of her.
Yes.
Yeah.
The panel of Mutsumi when she's shedding the tear.
Yeah, it really pops.
And the two panels on the bottom of 17 with Mutsumi and Tayo.
Yeah.
Super fucking
Yeah, the
Great.
use of
I-
the extra use of screen tones and like lighting effects like really make this moment like
That fire reflection just hits like,
Yeah,
whoa.
it's so
Dude, like
good.
Tayo in the fire as the old man worked really well. I was just like, I love that. And like on page 14, the part where she's like, I want Tayo and the others to be well, and it shows her feet, and it shows like how small she is in comparison to like the
Yeah.
log she's sitting on,
Yeah.
and like the fire, and then like how such a small body can carry that big of an emotional weight,
Yeah.
where she's like, I just
Wow.
want them to like be okay. They've done so much, and it's really hard. Life is hard.
One of those
Yeah.
like situations where the art is just like and the imagery is just perfectly complementing the vibe of the writing and just the overall situation in the chapter. I just love when it comes together like that.
Yeah. And how about this
Yeah.
big ass boar she catches and brings home for him,
Dude,
man?
that was
Lord,
my
oh,
favorite
oh,
part.
That's the
Like,
motherfucker
Hunter-
Odin cut in half.
Yeah, like I was just thinking like Odin, like Lord of the Mountain vibes,
Yeah,
or like
type
Hunter,
shit.
Hunter vibes when
It's
they
a
gotta catch
Princess
the big boar.
Mononoke reference.
Yeah. Or it's a princess.
Lord of
Mononoke.
Koto is the
Yeah.
is the boar in Princess Mononoke.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Straight up, that's straight up
Really?
the same name. Same name.
Yeah.
They
I've never
both
seen
had
him. I
their
gotta
good-
watch more Miyazaki films. That's
Oh,
one thing I've
honestly,
because I've only
um,
seen like 1 or 2 of them, to be honest. And it's
Princess
it's
Mononoke is like the bleakest one, and I love it. I love
like I've
it.
only seen Spirited Away and like maybe one other one. Like I gotta watch those.
You really should. But yeah, the giant boar, and I like that like the whole family somehow manages to eat that whole thing in one night.
Oh
It's just
yeah.
like,
This a big
No,
family,
They
first
eat,
of all.
they gotta eat. They got
Yeah.
muscles and training to stimulate. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Yeah.
They gotta have portions like this, bro.
That's-
Plus, it's like a
now it
shonen,
probably
so
has-
like, yeah,
now
They
probably
always-
has like the world's insanest metabolism.
yeah.
Wow. No, I mean no wonder that butcher shop sold out. They're like, bro, you're
Right?
back.
Like, y'all eating
Bro, you
all
bought
the
everything
food.
we ordered for 3 months last time. You could like literally 2 days ago. You bought our 3-month supply. What you talking about?
All the pig feet, all the hog maws. Friday reference.
Now you know we come and order that. Like, nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
don't know.
like
I mean,
I
Go
like how
ahead.
she doesn't question it. She's like, Tayo, Mitsumi, what are you doing here? And
Yeah.
that's it. She's just like, doesn't question it beyond that. Just like, yeah, you're, of course you're here. Why not?
Yeah.
And we're like,
You're
an
like-
old man called us. I don't know.
it's that pig. Holy shit.
Yeah, they're like, dude, that is a giant boar, bro.
Dude, the giant Tenkatsu kills me.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, like, just
Damn.
want to bite.
Ah,
Like bigger than
So-
them. That's insane. But yeah, I don't know.
oh,
That's
it's so fun.
all I had.
I think that's
for-
about all I had for Yozakura this week.
Yeah. Great chapter, great feel good, wholesome chapter. I think we're gonna get
Nice
like
transition.
since we're coming out of kind of an epic string of storytelling. I feel like the next couple of weeks will be. Yozakura tends to do that where they'll give you like a big action arc, and then you'll get a bunch of slice of life chapters, like
It'd be like,
one-off. Yeah.
Alright, chill out.
Yeah.
I need a
bunch-
vacation. I worked really hard, and I've deserved a weekend.
Yeah. But I love the
manga
break.
that
I love the break.
ebbs and flows. Yeah,
Yeah,
so.
for sure.
But yeah, that'll do it for
Yozakura
this week.
does.
Yeah.
Well, with that, I think we can go ahead and get right into chapter 170 of Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah.
Tokyo number 1 colony, part 10. Why'd you say year?
Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to be like, yeah, but then like I said year because it's like it's more natural.
You said
You said it
jujutsu,
with a little bit of
so
a you still said it with a little bit of a twang. No,
Twang.
that's why I laughed. It was like year.
But yeah, man. Shit was
Start
fire.
off, man, shit's cracking off. Reggie and Megumi, like Megumi starts off with Max Elephant, coming out, like blows some water at Reggie, and he like, ooh, skirts out of there. Motherfucking,
he actively
Megumi,
avoids
like-
water though.
Yeah, because he doesn't want his receipts to
he
get
doesn't
away.
want his receipts to
Yeah,
get
this
away.
was a
That'll
good
bleed
move
the
from.
ink, you know what I'm saying? They
this
don't
a-
know what's on him no more. He can't do it.
And who knows if that is even, like a thing. We can assume it is
It
because
is.
he really doesn't want to get hit by this water, so that's just like more like 5-headed Megumi shit that we love to see from his
I mean,
character.
Yeah, he
Water
even
Rex
admits it
paper,
at 6.
so I think we can assume kind of that he does want to avoid it for the most part. But
Yeah, he admits it at 6. He's just like, you figured out my curse technique and decide water's an easy countermeasure. He's like, you manifest what's written on the receipts or something. He's like,
Yeah.
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 contractual recreation.
But just
But
because
Reggie-
Reggie says you figured out my curse technique and decided water was an
Doesn't
easy
mean he still
countermeasure
has-
doesn't
have
mean
still shit for it.
it doesn't mean that that's facts. Like, yes, you definitely did figure out my curse technique, but then the second dialogue bubble is you think it works like this, but doesn't confirm it. So, but I think we're pretty safe to assume that he just should not get these receipts wet. Otherwise,
I think so
effectiveness will
too,
go
yeah.
down. Yeah.
I mean, the paper
Yeah.
gets repeated. That's something we know.
Yeah.
But
Because
Reggie
I
can-
feel like
Yeah.
he doesn't. The thing is, he has the receipts. He doesn't have to buy the things himself. He just had to go collect the receipts for the exchange.
Is that
Well,
what
I
he
think
said?
He converts the items to the receipts. I think. I don't think
Yeah,
we've got
he-
the full explanation. Why we did
he's-
actually.
Because he says he's like, this receipt I just used was for 2 nights and 3 days plus an oil treatment at 5-star Japanese Inn, Starry Sky, which means I just now feel as refreshed. And so like I can't imagine him like buying all these things personally. But I think it would be easier
Just sitting through the trash,
to
finding
collect-
receipts
to
for
collect-
shit.
Yeah, dumpster diving. Shit.
Yeah. And the thing is, if he's a guy with like lots of connections,
Yeah.
you could just work with a lot of service people. It's like, hey man, for X amount of money every month, just collect receipts for me
Yeah,
and mail them to this location. Don't ask what they're for.
yeah.
Doesn't matter. Here's like, here's $50.
It's
every
way
month.
funnier
Just-
to like picture him dumpster diving though.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
It is, because he's a shit person. I just
Yeah.
want him to like run around the garbage.
But I love
We
how capable he is, because like I could tell like last review.
Oh,
that
Reggie
we did-
impressed the fuck out of me. This
Yeah,
chapter,
like we
bro.
were talking about it in the last review. I was like, I feel like we all want this dude to just get dusted because Megumi is so cold and like that's our boy, and this dude is acting like such a bitch. So it's like, yeah, just beat his ass. But like him putting in
He's
work, I
tough.
was like, there's a possibility that this motherfucker could actually be super tight at the end of the day, and he's definitely tight enough. When he said this like comment about how like none of us have like big moves or whatever, I didn't even think about domain expansion. Honestly, I was like, okay, this
Yeah.
dude's on the tactical side
mean,
and on like the
how could you
analytical.
not?
Well, you just forget, man. I'm
Thought
not
Megumi's
a
probably too
I'm
exhausted
not a
for it.
fucking robot. I literally just didn't think about it. You know what I mean?
But he
So,
has
like,
it, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, I know he
Megumi got
has
hit.
it. I just didn't think about it in the moment. Okay,
And
like
he says
whatever.
it's
Yeah,
incomplete, too.
yeah. So like, I just remember like thinking when I was reading it, and he said like
I didn't either.
it showed like Reggie, like having this analytical moment where he's like, okay, based on the situation, we're both like kind of at a stalemate. We don't have any big moves. I was like, okay, Reggie is tight, and he's on the tactical side of things. This is a great matchup for Megumi. And then you get to the domain expansion, and you're like, like at least I was, and I was like, oh yeah, it's fucking over then probably as soon now that he's in this like amazingly advantageous position. Reggie was pretty good, but this is like the dividing
He
line.
was doing really good.
Yeah.
Like he was getting like he was doing smoke screens with those radishes. He was getting like good damage. He did a really remember he has that tattoo of Indomitable. He'd rather get his opponent to like give up because he's like, yeah, I fully rested for 2 days. I feel great. You're gonna keep taking damage. You should just give up.
Yeah, that was big.
Because like
I think-
that's a big power play, and like I love how casual he is about it all. He's just like, yeah, okay, drones, yeah, a Vespa, ciao.
Yeah. His capability of just knowing what receipt to use at any time on the fly is like major for his showing. You know what I mean? Like
He's a clever bastard.
Definitely got a lot of different utility items in the tuck.
Yeah.
Pulled out the drones with the moped, like Mello said, follow, buddy. He's just like, you're not getting away, buddy.
Right. Yeah.
And fucking, I think though we gotta I think there's 2 ways we can take kind of the end of this chapter.
Sure.
And I think the illustration, the art does kind of imply and lead you to believe that he is a little shook. The Megumi's pulling this out and he's like, he can do that.
Yeah.
But the structure of his gang is that like basically everybody's scared of him. He can beat everybody's ass. So like if he knows about domain expansion, I think we can take it one of 2 ways.
Okay.
Either he's seen one and like ran away because he's not dead, right? Like if he lost in a fight where somebody used domain expansion, like he'd probably be dead because they would have killed him with their domain expansion.
Right.
So I think it lends a little more towards like maybe him having one also.
Okay.
Because
So, okay.
I'm just basing this off the fact that he knows about it.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, no way, he can do that? He's
Yeah.
a sorcerer at this level? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then he does the domain expansion or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You kind of have to
I
ask the
feel-
question, like, did Reggie get these powers when the culling game started, like, you know, Higuruma or something, or was he already a sorcerer before the culling game, for whatever reason that may be? You know what I mean? Because it's like him recognizing that this is, you know, and maybe he doesn't.
He knows what he's doing before he does it, because he, like, you know.
Oh yeah, he does kind of start as soon as he starts talking about barrier. As soon as Megumi starts talking about barrier techniques and explaining how difficult it is to find, yeah, he's like, wait a minute, is he gonna do what I think he's gonna do? So he definitely does know about the domain expansion. And based on what you were talking about just a moment ago, Eagle, on
So
like,
I think there's 3 ways we can take it, because you brought up maybe he was a sorcerer beforehand. Sorry to interrupt.
No, yeah. I was just gonna say, like, because it's like if he did get these powers because of the culling game, then yeah, his time, you know, in these last 2 weeks that it's been going on, he could just be, you know, an observer that watches other people scuffling and all of a sudden just see like a big bubble like show up, and then, you know,
like,
time passes and then, like, you know, the bubble pops and somebody's dead.
Yeah,
You know, so he's like, okay, well, that's a level of this, you know, power system that I don't have access to, or that I whatever. So I could see it being like that. But if he is a sorcerer from before the culling game, then there's all the opportunity in the world for him to learn what a domain expansion is without actually encountering one. You know what I mean? So yeah.
My take for Reggie is that he seems to be a sorcerer prior to being in the culling game.
Yeah.
And I feel like he is a very competent, very cunning, but like big fish in a small pond kind of sorcerer, right? Like he was the biggest sorcerer in his neck of the woods, but he knew the big names and he stayed out of those fucking.
Sure.
He seems like he seems like the kind of guy that would never pick a fight he didn't think he could win.
Yeah.
And then, like, I wasn't expecting the domain expansion because, like, Megumi even said that his, like, domain expansion wasn't complete.
Yeah, we've known
so
that.
He's using the gym as like an artificial crutch to like shape it, and I was like, all right, that makes sense. That's cool. That's
because
cool.
now that we're in a building, it's
nothing to obstruct. You know, he doesn't have to really, you know, alter any physical space. You know,
because his domain is like surface level, basically like ground level, you know, effect, because he hasn't reached the bubble aspect of it yet in his
got the bubble, right?
He doesn't. That's the whole reason why he ran to this gymnasium, because the gymnasium is already a building that's closed off with 4 walls and a ceiling. It is the bubble. He created the bubble by going to this location where normally Chimera Shadow Garden is just like, you know, on the ground, and you can still run out of the perimeter of it, you know, if you want to, or if you can, you know, or whatever. If he doesn't fuck you up, you know, in the amount of time that it takes you to get to the edge, you know what I mean? But now he's a lot more confident because he's found a way to kind of you know, create like a loophole inside of that caveat or inside of that weakness of his by just going into a closed off space already and then conjuring it. So it's mimicking the bubble aspect, and that's just like so fucking cool. You know, that Megumi is like the perfect character for this kind of situation, because
this is a huge growth moment.
He is a thinker like that, you know. It just makes perfect sense for him to have this line of thought, to have this thought process, and go to this location like this. So,
but Reggie, man, is a thinker too, man.
Yeah, he is.
Like I said, he really impressed me this chapter, especially like from page 12 and 13 onward, where he like comes throwing in the gym, and Megumi's like, he's like, oh, what are you planning? And Megumi's like, oh, what are you planning, bitch? And he's like, I wonder if I'm planning anything. The truck's going blasting through the wall. Megumi's like, holy shit, fuck. And then he dodges the trucks clean as fuck, slides under him. Pots come falling on his fucking dome.
The choreography is fire.
Reggie comes around like, what's up? Rah, rah, rah. They exchange some punches. Throws a fucking daikon radish at him. Megumi's like, a fucking radish? Bah! Knife comes through the radish. He's like, oh shit.
I think he disguised the knife as a radish, and then
I thought he threw the knife through the radish, because it kind of
because he has a knife in his hand when he first attacks Megumi. He summons the daikon and then has You can see by his posture, he's hiding the knife behind his body so that Megumi will focus on the radish,
Yeah.
and then he'll use it to throw that in the blind spot. And
That
cause
makes
That
sense.
was the knife through the radish.
Yeah.
Megumi's like, oh, what the fuck? Ah!
Yeah.
Knife
That
in the
was so cool.
forearm. Immediately, boom, front kicks him Anderson Silva style, right? in his shin, bro.
Yeah, that
And
is
he's
an
got this
Anderson
look on his
Silva
face
ass
like,
kick.
yeah, bitch, I'm working you. What's up? Like he's got this dastardly look on his
Yeah,
face.
I
That shit
love how
killed me.
even though Megumi kind of like had an amazing idea to use Max Elephant to generate water to fuck the receipts up, even though that was an amazing play that even Reggie kind of like commented on, Megumi is just still entirely defensive the entire like fight basically for this chapter. That says a lot about Reggie too, is that like the one thing you thought was a hard counter just like didn't really fucking work for you, you know?
Yeah.
And like that's just like does so much for the stakes of this chapter specifically leading into the domain expansion, because I'm sitting here going like, if Max Elephant didn't work and this dude is getting straight comboed the rest of the chapter, like, man, Megumi, like, what's going on, brother? And then Chimera Shadow Garden, it's like, oh, okay, well, this is pretty much over then, I want to say. But you never know, because it's like, I definitely don't think Reggie has a domain of his own, but like, you never know. Like, simple domain is a thing, you know? Like, he could have like a simple domain kind of situation, or just his curse tech. Well, no, he's not going to have. Oh, wait. Is he going to have access to his curse technique? Because I know that being in a domain, a true domain, severs your ability or your connection to your actual
Use your curse technique. Yeah.
Right. So like I'm excited to see, because every time that Megumi has used
it's
his
still incomplete.
Yeah, well, every time that Megumi has used his domain expansion up until this point, there hasn't really been a curse technique to really negate, because the first time that he used it, it was against like a special grade curse who was just fucking just a physical powerhouse that was killing everybody with just like hand-to-hand attacks basically, and it had like an energy beam attack that it could shoot, but that just felt like raw jujutsu, you know what I mean? It didn't actually feel like a technique that would be cut off by a domain. And then the second time he used his domain, it was obviously a domain battle where they were both canceling each other out, and it was like, you know, not the same kind of domain fight that we've seen where your curse technique isn't available. So I think that this is going to be the first time we actually see if Megumi does have that effect on you inside of his domain, because he's facing another just straight human sorcerer one-on-one. But I feel like the bubble aspect might be the difference inside of that. Yeah,
I was gonna say the gymnasium bubble might be the difference inside of that.
Well,
he'll get his power move, but
or
not
the
his
caveat
suppression.
to that, I should say.
Well, just because he's in this gymnasium that's acting as a bubble doesn't mean that Chimera Shadow Garden is actually complete. You know what I mean? It's like a faux completion. It's like a pseudo, complete. It's just like cutting off your escape routes, but you're not actually encased in a true domain. So maybe he still doesn't get that aspect, and maybe he's just going to get the elemental buff or the environmental buff that you get from domains, and he's going to have access to.
It's not like there's a wall that's preventing. I mean, there would be normally, but there's a big hole in the wall because of the truck, so he could effectively just run out.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, he definitely like has like there's doors and shit he could probably walk through. Like, this isn't a true domain, so it doesn't have that like we're in a pocket, dimension, like space cut off from the rest of the things where it's hard to get out, because that's the point of domains. So like you never know, but I mean, like, I think that it's effective enough to where we can assume that the rest of the fight is going to take place inside of this space. You know what I mean? But I don't think that I don't think that Reggie, I'm assuming that Reggie is still going to have access to his techniques inside of this, and he's just going to have to deal with a buffed Megumi with more techniques at his disposal, and that's the decider. But we'll see.
I feel like it's going to be like he'll have access to his techniques, but he won't be able to run away easily, and he has to fight it out.
Right.
It reminded me of like all of the like little veins coming out of the spinal like chunk of spinal column.
Yeah, this is new.
Reminded me of like Dr. Manhattan,
Oh,
like,
wow, slowly putting himself back together, and he's like, he starts off as just like light, and then a nervous system forms, and then
the size of that skeleton reminded me of a creature called Gasha Dokuro, which is known as the Starving Skeleton. It's literally this shirt.
Oh shit, look at that. Okay.
It is literally this shirt. It is a giant skeleton.
Yeah. Wow. Oh yeah, you said
a guy.
Yeah, I literally just saw that on Twitter. Someone fucking used that exact picture that's on your fucking hoodie right now.
Yeah.
To kind of say something similar. Yeah.
I think he's summoning like Gashadokuro. It is basically a skeleton made out of like giant skeleton, like a giant skeleton made out of skeletons. It's 15 times the size of an average person. It's a thing of vengeance. It grabs lone travelers, bites their heads off.
Oh wow.
Causes like a ringing sound. But basically, the mythology is like there's a ghost that died without getting its vengeance, and so a young man plucks, like, if hears the ghost say, "My eye hurts," and it pulls out this bamboo shoot that's growing out of like his skull, and the ghost is like, "Hey, can you get vengeance for me? This is what I think." And I was thinking about like, if this is a ghost, the starving skeleton, basically it runs wild until its vengeance is satisfied. I was thinking of how Megumi might be tapping into the core center of the culling game zones, which are both execution grounds.
Oh wow.
So,
Yeah, I'm
like,
just wondering how this correlates with what we've seen from Megumi like so far, because like Chimera Shadow Garden and just his skill set in general, like we've never seen this. You know what I mean? Like I have no idea like how this links to the history of Megumi's character, like this.
Right.
Yeah, like I don't know what that is. It's clearly, you know, vertebrae or whatever, and like, you know, nervous system, you know, like wires like shooting out of it. But I'm sitting here going like, this is something that we're just gonna have to wait and see what the fuck Gege says, because it's like I can't use the history of the series to try to think of why this is happening this way in this specific expansion, because it's like this is just so different than anything we've seen from Megumi. But I love the fucking, what's it called, the skeleton thing? Like I love
Gashadokuro.
Gashadokuro.
I like that, man.
Yeah.
Like Gege is not, you know, shied away from incorporating like folklore and mythology into techniques.
Yeah.
But it's just like seems so random for Megumi right now. Like what? Like where did this come from?
Right.
It's said to be created from the ghosts of the people who died in battle and were not buried. And for me, it made me think about like it made sense to me once I read that for some reason, and I think it's because Megumi witnessed the Shibuya incident. He saw all those people died, and so like, what is a shadow puppet, right? Like a shadow puppet is a tool to tell a story, and so I think that maybe this Gashadokuro shadow puppet is just like a way to how Megumi is going to express
Express what?
Like express the carnage that he experienced via Shibuya incident.
Sure.
Because like he and Yuji were definitely changed, and I feel like this might be a good chance for that to be shown. Besides him just being a little harder.
It could also be a situation to where, like, I know that, you know, it seems like he's in full control of the situation right now, but the thing is behind him. So, like, what if Megumi doesn't even know what the fuck this thing is, and he just, like, conjured his Chimera Shadow Garden, and then, like, first page of the next chapter, he, like, looks behind him, like, what the fuck is that thing? And it's, like, you know, and it is linked to the location of where he's conjuring, you know, the spell, because they are... You did make the comment about how like the barriers for the culling game are kind of like have these execution grounds or graveyards or whatever at the epicenter that could be affecting, you know, how cursed energy manifests to some degree in ways that even Megumi potentially wasn't even ready for or hadn't expected. So that's just like one thing that I thought of. It's not as likely as anything else that we've been talking about, but I could totally just see like the next chapter, like, okay, I don't know what that is, but we're in my domain, so I guess I'm just gonna have to fucking go with it and learn as I go type shit, maybe, because cursed energy is behaving differently in the inside of these barriers. So
it'd be crazy if it manifests as like half of that giant skeleton, and it just starts raging against everything, and like Megumi has to like constantly dip into shadows and like jump over its arms as it's like swinging randomly because he doesn't actually have control over it.
That would be like, so wild. I feel like that'd be like man, he's always dealing with shit like that. Like Maharaga was just like wild card, can't control it
because
Maharaga
hadn't been controlled yet. Like because he was like, yeah, no, once you defeat the shadow, they're yours.
Yeah.
But he hasn't defeated it, and he's just like, I don't know, man. I'm just gonna let it go and see what.
Man,
happens.
do you think he'll beat Maharaga one day, man?
I feel like they wouldn't set it up that way without it eventually happening. So yeah, my vote's yes.
He's finna get my man, and
Yeah.
then he's finna be truly beast. He'll be the first person, the first Shikigami user in history to have beaten Maharaga.
Yeah.
And have him at his disposal, bro.
EOS Megumi gonna be a different breed.
Different beast, bro. Ah!
I'm like so excited about that. I don't know. That's all I have.
And it took Toji to beat Maharaga, didn't it?
Sukuna beat Maharaga.
Oh yeah, Sukuna. Yeah,
Toji was long gone by the time Maharaga was there.
He ran off.
No, he killed himself.
I kind of mistook it for the Dagon moment.
Yeah, no, Toji didn't run off. He fucking killed himself as soon he had like a moment of like consciousness, like where he came out of his like death puppet mode and was like, "What's your name, kid?" And he's like, "Fushiguro." And he's like, "Fushiguro, not Zenin." All right, bet. And then he took Yu-Un, or Playful Cloud, and fucking stabbed himself in the brain.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I was just reminding
like, you're
Mello.
not it's like, yeah, dude. He's like, you're not a Zenin. Dope.
Like, all right, bet. Good enough for me. I'm not trying to kill my son, especially if he's out here not being a Zenin. So we go ahead and just get myself out of here. Boom. That shit
Happy
was
trauma,
fire.
kid. I'm out.
That shit was insane.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I think I'm good on Jujutsu this week.
I think that's about all I had on Jujutsu Kaisen as well.
Good cliffhanger.
Fuck yeah.
Well, with that, we can go ahead and get right into chapter 224 of Dr. Stony in space.
Beautiful. We're here.
Beautiful.
We are
We're
in. We are in the great beyond. We have left the shores of the cosmic
Nice
ocean.
cover panel
Beautiful
of the
cover panel.
rocket, with like the initial boosters kind of splitting off.
Yes.
And then we get the flashback panels of just the entire kind of journey of humanity.
Yes.
Up to Senku's childhood, petrification, journey through the stone world. And then we get a flashback to, isn't this Byakuya when he was old saying humanity is going to make a comeback? You'll see until the day we're eating ramen in space again.
Yeah,
you can count on.
Yeah, this is him collecting the platinum throughout like the rest of his life for Senku to inevitably wake up from petrification and revive the entire planet. I think it might be time to I don't know if you guys have, but I think it might be time to read the Byakuya one shot, because I was seeing people saying that this ties into that shit to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Or something. I didn't really look at it like that, but like somebody said somewhere.
I read like the first 1 or 2 chapters, and it was kind of
or not one shot. Did I say one shot? I meant spin-off.
Y'all should read that. It's good.
Yeah. Is it like really relevant to like what's happening right now in the main story? Because that's what
it basically is set up. Like the whole premise is like Byakuya and them are sent up in space, and they're existing in space, and then they witness the petrification event.
Sure.
And then they're like, I mean,
basically we got to go back down. It's basically
we have to go back.
It's just like the extended like version of the literal flashback arc that we got like in the actual story. Okay.
I read the story, I think up to the point where like they go down and like they get out of the pod.
Okay.
Yeah. The only thing it might be like that might be relevant or anything is that they left stuff up in space.
Oh, okay, okay.
They did leave things up in orbit.
Oh, wow.
Because they're just like, well, we're returning. We just need to get this shit. We're gonna just jettison this stuff. Like, yeah. And there's like a little AI robot that's very sad. So like,
oh, there's an AI robot in the spin-off.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn. Okay, so like that kind of like links to the ideas and theories of like why man.
Oh yeah, it definitely shaped my ideas for sure.
Okay,
because if they were able to have an AI accompany them to space, then of course there could be an AI that already exists in space.
Or maybe it's that AI that like landed on the moon and just like became Y-Man somehow. I don't know how that would make sense. That seems
that could link to my, you know what I'm saying, when I theorized or speculated that Byakuya gave the AI like Senku's personality or voice just arbitrarily. Shit. They were like, oh, should we give the AI a voice? And he had like a recording of Senku's voice and was like, here, why not, you know?
Okay.
That could be why, you know? I don't know.
Wow. Yeah, it might be time to
read this double spread on page 6 and 7.
Yeah, fire. So fire.
of the fucking just open space, bro.
I love
2
like
and 3,
space
yeah.
paneling, or I love just like space imagery in comic books, like in general. Like they just like I feel like a lot of it is just like so digital and it's just like copying and pasting a bunch of stuff. Maybe I don't really know exactly how it works, but like they've just like nailed it. I just like love seeing it in Western and Eastern comics. Just like whenever there's like a starry sky or like an actual like space related like story arc, or they're just like in space for whatever reason, it just always looks so good to me. They've really nailed that effect.
Yeah.
Man, I love that the ship that got out to space is Senku 11 in reference to Apollo 11.
Yeah, dude.
And
I think you said
like,
that on the last review or maybe the review before that. I remember being
yeah,
like,
they had the
"Fuck yeah,
spacesuit.
yeah,
And so like I like that the spacesuit really was indicative of the number that they were
yeah,"
gonna
because
go with.
it was
So
the
like
spacesuit. That's right. Yeah,
nice confirmation. I love the title page 8 and 9.
Yeah.
Space
Senku
all
space.
alone.
that
With-
eye panel is
Yes.
fucking insane because you could see the helmet. You know, you could see through the helmet like
Yeah.
reflection and shit like that. Boichi went stupid on that.
I
Yeah.
loved that, and I also liked like even the parallel of um like his eye, then the porthole looking like an iris staring back at him, and
Oh
then
yeah,
on top of that, all alone in space, it looks like a giant eye, like a little eye. The spaceship itself looks like an eyeball staring at the world.
oh
Like
shit,
I was just like the triple eye, like looking
the triple
layers. I was like,
entendre.
yeah, dude,
Yeah.
it's got
The
layers.
fact that they let Senku wake up alone in space for just to have a moment of contemplation
Yeah,
because the way his dad like spent time up there
yeah,
and um
yeah. That
and
was
he
wholesome
realizes that
shit.
the
Yeah,
way he's like, oh, this was your doing, Zeno, and he's like, oh yeah, whatever, da 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 da. Tries to make up a bullshit reason of why he woke him up early, and he's just
Yeah.
like, let's leave it at that.
yeah.
Sure, let's leave it at that.
At first, I didn't really understand like what was like. I was like, okay, so Zeno fucked around with some things without telling anybody. That sounds dangerous. Why would you do that? You know what I mean? And I remember being like, that's I don't know how I feel about that. And then when you know kind of put it together, when it tells you like he gave him a moment to wake up and weep alone. You know what I mean? Because he assumed like, yo, I knew your dad. Like you're a scientist mind just like me. You've always wanted to go to fucking space. Like we know that. You know, it's very even if they never had that conversation, like that's very easy for Zeno to figure out just from the time that he spent with
Yeah.
Senku. You know, so him going out of his way to do that so that he could wake up and look at space by himself and maybe think about his dad and start crying, because like no one's probably ever seen Senku cry. This motherfucker has never cried. He's never shown any emotion besides like a little bit of panic, but mostly just confidence all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's like so out of character, quote unquote, for like
Yeah.
Senku to just like break down in front of people. So Zeno thinking about that and like rigging it in this way that ended up not being dangerous, obviously, just so that he could have that moment. I was like, that makes all the sense in the world, and that was like beautifully written and like composed in the actual comic. I was like, yeah, that they snapped on that. Like that was fucking amazing.
Mhm. I really dug Kohaku's new outfit on page 14.
Yes.
Like and it looks super utilitarian, right? They've got
Yeah.
like this hip check belt that has a bunch of like hooks and grips on it so that people can grab onto it, and like also have like those rings so you can like carbon or attach a
Mhm.
bunch of things to it as well, because you're gonna be free flying.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Definitely.
And like I like that Senku has it too. Like he has the same kind of belt.
So I'm wondering,
Yeah.
like, do you just not get? I know that you can like make like artificial gravity or whatever. Is that like just like not a thing?
I mean,
Um,
that probably takes a long time
Yeah,
to
it
make
probably
that
was
machine. They
like
probably
I
were just like,
think
we can go without it.
yeah.
I think it usually requires centrifugal force,
Oh,
right?
sure.
Like it would need something big enough
Yeah,
and enough centrifugal force thing to generate its own like inertia
sure. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
that it could like do that. Or at least like that's the kind of thing that they have in like say like Ender's.
But even on like the ISS, like you see, they're kind of just floating around when they're
Yeah.
navigating through the station. You know, most
Yeah.
most of the places I think have 0G.
Yeah, and maybe you just don't want artificial gravity like actually in the spacecraft. I don't know anything about astronauts or anything about straight space travel, obviously, but I do remember artificial gravity being used in certain things. You know what I mean? So and yeah, adding that, like, that feels like a luxury, obviously. So it's like we're trying to get up there as fast as we can. We don't have time to make.
If anybody knows about whether like zero, artificial gravity is a common application in like space stations
Contemporary
nowadays,
spacefaring, yeah.
mostly, zero G situations, let us know.
Yeah.
But they had the space ramen.
Yeah.
They had the bag of space ramen. They ate it. It was delicious.
I like the little design because it has the nozzle for like adding like the boiling water, letting it cook, and then you can tear off the top once it's done.
Yes.
I'm just like, that's pretty chill. That's pretty.
Boichi's
slick
never
stuff.
gonna skimp on the details. Like, that they just have so many like models.
Look
you
at
know
all
what I
those
mean? And like
textures.
so many like
Ramen
things to look at. Like, yes, the ramen looks great.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's all good. I was basically done. But yeah, the ramen looks fire, and I just love Francois. She's like always just like chefing shit up with like the most confident look on her face. Like, I'm about to do it to him once again. Like,
that ramen looks crucial.
It looks so good.
But it is interesting because like he is getting a lot of parallels, and like Senku hasn't truly smiled like this entire time. Like he's had a lot of like small smiles.
Yeah, he has his
but
little
like
smirks
this is
and
a
shit.
very
Yeah.
This is a very bittersweet moment for him because he's like, you're getting too excited. Like on page 14, he's being like kind of like melancholic at like 16 and stuff.
He's having a great time though. Like, like he's like, man, this is everything that I wanted. And like, they're never obviously going to show, the full range of his emotions, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
at any point in time. But like, just like our understanding of Senku up until this point, like I know that Boichi and Riichiro Inagaki are like, we really got to nail Senku's facial expression specifically, because Kohaku's going to be like, holy shit, this is crazy, I've never seen anything like this before. Stanley's going to have like the more stoic, like another day at the office type kind of demeanor, and like Senku like is the one who really has been wanting to do this, you know what I mean? But you can't give him too much facial expressions. You can't make him look like a kid in a candy shop, because that's just not the kind of character that he really is, unless it's like a comedic point where that's when he gets all the crazy facial expressions. But it's almost always just like it's a representation of something, and an actual facial expression that you're supposed to recognize as like a part of, like, you know what I mean? It's not like it's not real shit. It's just it's just comedic, comedy, chibi, funny face shit. But like, these are facial expressions that are like real, and you can't have him whiling too much. But you can tell that he's just like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. There's a really nice like subtle touches that I quite like on 10 and 11, his hair, and even on page 12, his hair is always in a position where it would be like, if he cried, it would be covering that.
Oh, sure. Yeah, his little like bangs or whatever.
Yeah, to like have that moment, like, and it's like the idea like his emotions are being treated privately, but like this is, and they even say this is a moment where he can weep freely if he needs to, because he's like, this is a hugely cathartic moment. Eating the same food his dad has, being in a place that he wanted to be since he was a kid. And you know what? He probably wanted to be an astronaut so that he could spend more time with his dad.
Yeah, wow.
Maybe.
Like,
damn.
that's for me, that I don't know. That's very heavy.
I love that.
And I would weep if I were in that situation. I just, man, that's.
Yeah, how do you not just
possible.
start bawling, bro? Like, you are in space right now. Like, humanity died, like, basically, for 3,700 years. Everything rusted away, literally from scratch canvas, and you brought us to where we're at right now.
Well,
And
Senku's not really that guy. Like,
yeah.
he's more this type of guy. Like, on page 11, we get this panel where he's literally just kind of like by himself, looking out into the void of space, like with a melancholic smile.
Yeah, like, this is the way. Yeah, like we finally made it here. Like, we did it. Type shit. Not like, oh my god, like everything is. Like, it's just so much.
Maybe he might
happened.
shit like a 1.
Yeah.
Sorry,
we're gonna get a tier. Like, at some point in time,
tier.
we will get a tier from Senku. But like, just, man, it's like, even if you are just like cool, calm, and collected all the time, like, this would make all the sense in the world to just see Senku just start bawling his fucking eyes out. Like, especially because he's, you know, alone and everyone's not awake yet, and they still just didn't do it, and that's just like, man.
I wish we would have got one like Suzuruzi.
Yeah,
Man,
This is getting exciting, or
I
whatever he
kind of
says.
yeah,
like
get excited.
there's
Yeah.
like reports of like astronauts like in interviews, and they're like, so what happened? It's like, how did you feel when you first saw like the Earth from outer space? And he's like, all I could do was gently cry. Like, he's like, I saw it. It was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen, and all I could do was cry a little. No words. And I was just like, man, that's heavy stuff. So like, I could definitely see that. That's just
That's like
the beauty of the world, you know, touched by beauty.
Oh yeah.
Um,
How long do you guys think we're gonna be in? Like, do you think that we land on the moon like end of next chapter, or do you think that we'll
Probably.
spend? Yeah, I think we'll be in
I hope
space a
so.
little bit longer. They got a little bit more to talk about as far as like
one more
the
chapter,
initial.
like what are we gonna land?
Yeah, yeah. Need one more chapter where
Chapters.
yeah, it's just like in
You
space.
think 2 more chapters
talking
of
about,
in space before we land, Mello?
I think we're gonna be 2 chapters, and then we'll be on the moon.
okay. So next
like,
chapter is entirely space.
I don't know if I want to spend 2 chapters in the ship.
So
Well, it
that's the-
depends on what they
that's
want to
the-
talk about. It depends on like the
that's-
content, obviously, because it's like there is a lot that you can and probably do have to talk about once you have woken up and you're floating in the vacuum of space before you get to like this is a very thorough series. You know what I mean? Like they want to make sure that everything is accounted for, so it doesn't feel like you're moving through something like this too quickly. I want to assume, you know, so like another whole chapter in space and then like cliffhanger is landing on the moon.
Yeah.
That feels good to me. If they wanted to do 2 whole chapters of space and then land, you know, on the moon at the end of the second chapter, then like that would be fine too, depending on the content. Obviously, I think that there's more than enough things that Riichiro and Boichi can put in 2 chapters before landing. So.
I mean, I think the things they have to talk about are like,
Yeah.
okay, here's what we're gonna do when we land, which I'm pretty sure is like get the ship set up.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
piece the ship together so we can get out of here when we need to. Right.
Yeah.
That's the first thing we're gonna do, or maybe like assess the situation, then start that, and then we're gonna go scouting. You know,
Yeah.
so like if they're just gonna discuss like kind of that planning, I feel like to stretch that out into 2 chapters worth of content, like
Yeah.
we could also get some interaction from the ground as well, but
Right. If it was 2 chapters, then it would definitely be more than that.
it just
would
feel
be-
a little stretched out for me, a little contrived, you know. So I
Oh,
don't know.
I feel I'm more in the Nox camp where like it's going. The second chapter is going to be cliffhanger. They are on the moon.
Sure.
Like.
I was just
I
throwing
think
that out as a possibility. What feels best to me is that we have 1 more chapter in space, and then literally the next
Mhm.
chapter, it's
At the end of it,
is,
we're on the moon.
is them landing on the moon. Yeah, but I was just
Yeah.
saying, like, if they wanted to do 2 chapters in space, I feel like there's a whole lot. Like, obviously, it's hard for us to think of everything that they would, like, all of the content for 2 whole space chapters. But at the same time, like, we're not astronauts. You know what I mean? Like, we don't study
Yeah.
this kind of stuff. So, like, Riichiro, if he wanted to put that much content in the space travel aspect. The initial space travel aspect, I think that they could do it. I just can't see it happening personally.
Yeah, I think that at most what they're gonna do is like basically like track down the other parts of the ship,
Yeah.
get them all clustered together, and then land on the moon.
Yeah.
And that's
Are they at the moon though now? Like look on the
No.
last panel. Is that the Earth or the moon? It looks
Oh,
kind of,
damn, it does kind of look like the moon a little bit. Yeah.
looks like the moon, but like you see the pieces connecting
Yeah.
to 2 things, so they still need like 3 other parts.
And it can't be the moon because they got to travel so far. Like the moon is not like you're going to see it like in the first couple of hours after waking up after the initial launch. Like you got to travel a little bit to like, and obviously, you know, like you could just play with
could have just been
perspective
like,
and-
oh, time
and-
passed.
Yeah, or time passed. Yeah, but it looks like they woke up, ate some ramen, and then now they're getting Stanley at the controls. Like, yo, let's get the rest of this ship together. It's like that's just not enough time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Let's
but-
Galaga parallel parking our way into a combo.
but but at the same time, like these things are massive. Like you could see the moon from Earth already. You know what I mean? So it's like if they're in space, like seeing the moon isn't that crazy. Like this last panel looks like if that is the moon, it looks like they're right next to it. But obviously, it's like. You know, you could see it and still have a lot of distance to go, is what I'm saying.
It could
Yeah.
be like the ice cap part of the Earth.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's probably just Earth, you know, like, or whatever, you know, but either way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they land next chapter.
That's
Yeah,
it
I think
for
that's
me.
about all I have for Dr. Stone this week.
Yeah, I'm good too.
All right. Well, with that, I think we can go ahead and get right into chapter 339 of Boku no Hero Academia, My Hero Academia. The story of how we all became heroes, part 2.
Mm-hmm.
Fire as color cover, or not color cover, but cover
Yeah.
panel of Hatsume Mei.
Yeah. The detail on this is bananas, bro. Like, holy
Yes.
Oh
shit.
man,
Like, the cross hatching and the skirt and the kneecaps, like, all of the bells and whistles of her, like, jetpack or whatever the fuck that is that she's wearing, bro. Like,
the mecha wings.
yeah, like, this shit is insane, bro. Like, this is one of the coolest drawings of a character that I've seen in My Hero Academia, I want to say.
Yes.
She's got kind of like a steampunk owl man kind of suit.
Yeah,
going
straight
on.
up. Yeah, I love that shit.
The
Skirt,
cross hatching and the skirt and all the detail in like kind of like the materials that they have. It reminded me of like oh, what was that schoolgirl thing where it's like destruction.
Yeah. Oh,
where
yeah.
it's
Dead,
like
dead demons. Yeah.
yeah, demons, where they're just like, hey, an alien invasion and all incredible detail.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
gave me those vibes.
Everything about this is so fire, dude. He's such a good artist, man. The contrast is fucking amazing because like the stark white on the skin with like barely any shading, and then like the gray screen tones on like the tank top, all of the details and like the extra stuff that she's wearing, and then just stark white background, stark black, silhouette of some like girders and like other, shop things piled up in the background. Like everything about this is just so aesthetically pleasing to the eye, and it all just like fits together in a way that pops in all the areas that it needs to. It's just like so good.
It shows how much he really enjoys her character.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah.
Like this chapter was just like a little love letter to that specific character. It's like, shine, you crazy diamond.
Yeah.
Let's go.
You're not in the story that much, but when you're here, we're gonna draw the shit out of you.
You're my favorite supporting character. Nah, she's cool. I love mad scientist characters like that.
She's been one of my
Just
favorites since the beginning.
Yes, me too. Me too.
But I loved how at first, she's like, I got more important shit to handle. When they're like, can you help us out? She's like, nope, no can do. We don't got the shit. We don't got the shit.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really dope that, because I thought for a second, based on Power Loader's dialogue, that they were like, oh yeah, I've been handling because when we went into the shop, they're like, oh shit, it's a mess in here. And he's like, oh, I'm in charge of the R&D barrier or whatever. So I'm like, oh yeah, they got him in charge of all the safety shit for UA. She's the one that's been in charge of the shop tinkering with inventions and shit. That's why it's so messy. But then it's like, no, she's the one that's in charge of this like escape system that takes all these individual cubes and like sends them to different locations.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, they got Hatsume on this shit. She's really a mastermind. Like, they've acknowledged that.
Yeah. Wildly capable in this field.
And I thought it was also super fucking dope how even while she's sitting here doing her thing with the system, she's literally like one hand like still doing their shit, and like tosses it back at him, hits him in the face like, here's your shit, now get the fuck out.
Yeah, so good. And
so much Hatsume shine this chapter, man.
The comedy on like page 3 where it's like, don't tell me you don't understand the state of the world outside, and she's just like, huh? And like that's just so funny, but it just makes so much sense for characters like this. You have like characters like Reed Richards, Hatsume, just the mastermind tinkerers and engineers that are so obsessed with their work and so passionate about what they're doing that like something like, all out war outside your window could definitely, kind of breeze past you while you're in the, the middle of your obsession with your work. You know what I mean? You just love characters like this, like that.
Yeah.
Are just so good at what they do. Yeah.
I love some of her dialogue. So it's like, even a perfect A+ idea could drop to an A- in a flash. When I think of a new baby, I gotta raise it right.
Fire.
Yes.
And I was just like, nice. She isn't just building crap just to build it. And like on the next page, on page 8, I liked as like, don't be dense as high density polyethylene. Of course, I'm aware of the nasty predicaments you guys are facing. I'm not a fighter, but like, we're helping you.
Yeah.
This is how I fight.
Yeah.
By giving you all the tools you need to succeed.
Yes, dude.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And it's so important in a story like this where the world building is so like localized to, a specific, couple of cities, one country, where
Mm-hmm.
you have, we have such a good understanding of how heroism works, and how, it works with the laws, and like how like society around the characters kind of behaves, that it's like, man, when you have all of these little like branches of all of the, things that come together and make this thing really work and really feel like a living and breathing world, despite such localized small like world building, it's like you have to dive into the support class, like who makes the inventions. You have to dive into, cops and lawyers, and and things like that, to make it feel like it's more than just class 1A, and not even just
Yes.
class 1A, just Midoriya, Todoroki, you know Asui, and like the really popular class 1A
Yeah.
characters. You know what I mean? Like whenever it like branches off and it shows how serious and how well thought out the writing in areas outside of the main protagonists are, it really does a lot for the overall world building for me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. But yeah, so like what? Like she threw these arms at him. So what, he's gonna like wear these, and these are basically like just like upgraded versions of the gauntlets he destroyed when he was out.
Not upgraded, like probably on par, because she said she didn't really have all
Oh,
like.
right.
She was like, I couldn't replicate them exactly. My babies might not be the latest and greatest, but please put them to work for you. I figured they're basically on the same level as the ones he had, because her skill compensates for the lack of materials. Like I feel like if she would have had everything she needed, she'd have been able to upgrade them definitely.
Yeah.
But I feel like because of the lack of materials or whatever, like
So they're just like
they're
replacements.
basically
Get you back to
basically,
where you were before you fucked
Yeah.
up all of your
Yeah.
equipment, running out and being a vigilante. Yeah.
It's a nice upgrade of one of her previous prototypes, because when he fought Gentle, he was using her prototype of like shock absorber gauntlets. So like I like that this is the take 2 on that. So like that's a throwback, because I recognized like the fist shape,
Mm-hmm.
and like the cuff part.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see what Ingenium's new armor looks like, because she's
Yeah.
like, it's not a replica, and then we don't see it at all.
Yeah.
So I want to see Ida just get like the makeover.
I hope it's slimmer, you know what I mean? Because I remember when I first saw the Ingenium like armor design, I was
He
like,
looks like a
dude,
Gundam.
this looks, he looks like a Gundam. But like I wanted, I always thought that it was kind of clunky for his skill set. Like I know that like, it comes down to engines and whatnot. So like it being like big doesn't really probably have too much to do with like how fast he can actually go while wearing it. I'm sure it complements it rather than weighs it down, in whatever way that makes sense. But I just remember it just feeling so big. I hope it's slimmer. I'm like picturing Tatsumi from Akame ga Kill in his in like his fully clad
the little
Teigu
dragon
form.
form.
Yeah, I can't remember. Incursio, there we go.
Yeah,
I hope it looks a little bit more like Incursio, and it's a little bit slimmer in that way.
Sleek.
Yeah, because I just remember like the original Ingenium design. I was like, man, this thigh armor is so thick.
Dude,
like this motherfucker
honestly,
is caked up out here.
it'd be interesting if she was like, yeah, it's like we reduced weight on the sides and back, but reinforced like front facing parts of the shins and stuff to protect your stuff. But then otherwise, it looks a lot sleeker and more aerodynamic, and I'm like, yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh.
Just makes sense. Like it's right on time for like, and I never even really thought about like upgrades on Ingenium's armor like at all. You know what I mean? Until now we're here at this like situation here, and it's like, yeah, like as the story progresses, he should be the one, since he has like a full armor kind of fighting style. Like I thought maybe we'd see more even of upgrades to his kind of situation, but whatever, it's here now and it makes sense. So
yeah, Ida's I think one of the less popular characters.
Sure.
Like he's a good character, but he's more of just like he's the straight man.
Yeah.
That's kind of his function within the story.
Doesn't need too much focus.
Yeah, exactly. He got his growth points at Stain, and like,
yeah,
that's heavy.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
I do love that she was like, nah, I can't do anything for you guys. Still does it anyway for them.
Yeah.
One-handed does it. And those other guys on page 10 are just like, we were just about to take measurements.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
we're just garbage. Don't mind us.
Poor chopped liver was dude.
Yeah.
The little butthole faces kind of remind me of they look like puckers, dude.
Yeah,
They
no,
straight
straight
up
up.
I
God,
can't
what does
say
that
it.
remind me of? I feel like I've seen that before in something.
I think I've seen that before. Yeah, I've seen a butthole before.
No, I've like seen like the faces like that before in something. I'm trying to
Oh,
remember it.
Preacher. You're thinking of Preacher with Art's
Oh,
face,
wow.
where he has that
Yeah.
acid trip and like
Oh
sees
my
God,
God.
and
Yeah.
he sees everyone as an asshole, like a face with an asshole.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God.
Yeah, I just recently finished all of Preacher, and I was just like, yeah, this is the thing.
The show or the comic?
The comic.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Someone lent it to me, and I was like, oh yeah, I got a couple days in
Yeah.
quarantine. Let's check it out.
That's
Let's
Garth Ennis's best
burn
book.
through it.
Yeah.
Dude, so good.
Hmm.
So the little butthole face is just like, yeah, this is very much Western comic influence on Horikoshi. It's just like,
I love it every time I see it. I'm just like, every time I notice it, I'm just like, yes, dude. That's why one of the reasons why I love this series so much is that I just get to see so many references that so many people just miss. You know what I mean? It just makes me feel so cool when I find them.
mhm. Oh man, and like the art is so crisp on like page 13 with like Todoroki and his like armor, like
Yeah,
his
fire.
shoulder straps. It's so
yeah.
detailed, and it reminds me of like Cable
Ooh,
a little bit,
ooh,
where he
okay.
has like the harness
Yeah.
set. And I was
Yeah.
just like, yes, yes.
Yeah.
And I love that like the series started out their costumes like super basic and simple, and then as the series progressed, the details
Subtle.
intensified.
Yeah, subtle little like overtime upgrades. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like I love the little thigh belts on Najir.
Najire?
Uh,
Yeah.
Najire, yeah.
Mhm.
On page 14, I was just like, yeah.
She's got a different haircut too. I don't remember her hair being.
I think her
Yeah.
hair got burned or something by Dabi, didn't it?
Oh, sure.
True.
Yeah, I do
Yeah,
remember
that's
they
cool,
squared
though.
up for a little bit. That's right.
Yeah, that's
We
cool.
get
though.
Nejire with oh damn, he's like one of my favorite
Tamaki,
characters.
Sun Eater.
Tamaki, yeah.
Sun Eater, yeah.
And Fat Gum with Ryukyu as well.
Ryukyu's there? Oh, yeah, I see her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's right there. Very subtle.
And
Just
they're
a
going to
small cat.
Shiketsu.
Yeah, I think so. They're talking about Shiketsu.
I definitely can't wait to see more Shiketsu get, like some Shiketsu people get involved, bro. I love me some Inasa, bro.
Yeah, dude, love him. I thought he would be like such a more prominent character.
Yeah.
And they're just like, we have no way to get him into the story. There's a lot going on.
Yeah. Like so many cool characters, and it's just like you just can't fit them all into focus the way you need for the way that's
It's a lot going on.
Yeah. But you got to do that because otherwise you're going to be like, all of these side characters are fucking whack. Like, why are they even in the story? Like, you got to make them interesting enough to where you want to see more from them, even though the story can't really contain them all in a spotlight perspective.
I like that the Shiketsu kids always show up at like a turning point in their development.
Yeah. Because you can't show this. You can't show the subtle growth. You need to just, every time they're there, something major's got to go down. Yeah.
Yeah. And then also like, our class A kids, they're like, we've been able to see their subtle growth, and then I want to see Shiketsu, and just they look so different. I want them to like have that like contrast, and they're like, oh yeah, you know what, everyone's grown. That's satisfying.
I wonder how long this how we all became heroes stretch of chapters is like gonna conclude, because it sounds like it would be like the last tagline for chapters like of the series, you know what I mean? Like by the end of that stretch, it's like yeah, we all like, that's like sounds so end of series, story arc title, but like I think it's gonna bring us to just the confrontation, and then just everybody being on the front lines like fully confident and ready to go is like kind of like the bow on that notion of like how we all became heroes. Because that unless this is gonna be like a 60 chapter title naming convention kind of thing, like Shibuya Incident, and then the story ends and it's still titled after how we all became heroes, could be something like that. But no, like I just don't see that happening, because it's just not that kind of series.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, but I'm interested. Dummy interested.
I'm interested to see what All Might's talking about here too at the end.
Yeah.
the other battle that could decide it all. What do you
Somebody
guys
said
think
in your
about
live, someone said in your live reaction, they were like, maybe they got to deal with parents again. And you were like, nah, we're not. We're not going and getting arcs, you know, or
we're
chapters
past the
where,
parents.
yeah, we're past
Somebody-
the parents. Like,
DMZ,
yeah,
okay,
like
yeah.
world's at stake here. It's like I don't give a fuck what
Right.
your mom got to say right now. Like, we need your power here. So
Think of the parents. Fuck
yeah,
the
it's
parents.
like nah, like we
Fuck
don't
the
need
goddamn
irrational, you know, parent logic right now.
Nah, definitely not.
Dude.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't
Oh,
know, man. Like
I-
the other battle that could decide it all. Like, man, what is that? I'm about to look in the comments, see what people had to say.
Because I wonder what that would be, and I don't think it would be Shiketsu, though it could also be. It might be Gigantomachia is still out there, right?
No, they got him hemmed up and like unconscious. They like
That could still be what they're
keeping
talking
him-
about, you know.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Like
Or
the
they-
battle to
like-
keep him from getting freed, you know.
Or no, I was like, I had this thought like maybe they use him in some kind of way as an ally, and that's like a massive turning point, obviously, in the conflict. If you
I
got
think they
Gigantomachia
would-
working for you, yeah, go ahead.
I think they might use him as bait. Like
Mm.
that's the battle, right? Like they're like, we need to control the battlefield. We don't know what the villains are gonna do. We don't know where they're gonna be. But if we leak intel and reveal where Gigantomachia is, we could possibly let the raid happen on our terms and be
Sure.
prepared for that.
And that's what I thought that they were going to be using Aoyama for, because you got to be careful with like, you know, minds like, you know, All for One on the opposite side of the battle line, because it's like, man, it's like if you're going to be thinking that you're baiting them, but like you never know if All for One could put that together. It's like, why are we suddenly getting information about where Gigantomachia is? Like I could just totally see him just seeing right through something like that, you know what I mean? So I don't know. But obviously they could still do it. Like if it comes down to like leaking of intel, like they could be using Aoyama for that too. You know what I mean? So it's like at the end of the day, they're going to be trying to use Aoyama to communicate with All for One to set up an ambush or to lead him to a specific battlefield. You know what I mean? So that could totally Gigantomachia stuff can definitely fit in there. Absolutely. I'm just like thinking, I'm like, man, you got to be real careful with a strategy like baiting, you know, against the motherfucker like All for One, because that dude is too tactical, son. He's too smart.
Five brain.
Yeah. For real.
No,
Straight
it's just like
right.
it's either that or they have like they've figured out where like a large stockpile of supplies and like a major hideout for the Paranormal Liberation Front. Because I feel like those guys are not as tight about security
Yeah,
due to their kind of like dogmatic philosophy.
sure. I wonder how
'Cause they're
much.
like-
Yeah.
Like they believe they're right,
Right.
and justified. So
Mhm.
like that can make people slop.
Yeah.
Like an opponent that feels like he's fucking up, they're gonna double lock. They're gonna check all the doors twice. They're gonna make sure their oven's off.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Straight up. Cross all the I's, dot all the T's.
Villains that think that everything's going their way, that's when they make mistakes. So
Yeah.
like I imagine that would be kind of their fatal flaw.
Yeah, that's
their
a good point.
hubris.
That's a good point.
Um,
I wonder how much how involved Hawks is with whatever All Might is talking about.
I mean,
because
he's right there with him.
he is right there in the panel as he says that, you know what I mean? And if they are talking about, you know, utilizing, you know, underworld or just incorporating like some kind of underworld situation or some kind of clandestine, you know what I mean, hidden faction of whatever side, you know, whether it's positive or whether it's protagonist or antagonist, like Hawks is like right there for shit like that, you know what I mean? Like that's a major part of his character is that he comes from that kind of situation. So I wonder if they're going to be employing tactics like that just to get the job done, even though that seems a little bit like, you know, unorthodox for conventional like tried and true heroes to kind of want to go that route. But this is, you know, it's getting to a point in the story where shit is real and you got to just get the damn thing done no matter what. And I know that we're going to be, you know, like we already kind of like leaned into that with Hawks and Twice, you know what I mean? Like in the Paranormal Liberation Front War, it's like you have like real heroes, high ranking popular heroes that are doing like super underhanded backdoor, like almost villainous stuff to achieve their goals. And it's like, it makes sense with characters like Hawks, but if All Might is like talking about employing tactics like those, then that says a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh man, I kind of like the fact that like Mount Lady seems so much more on top of her shit and less.
She has
She
been
seems
getting,
serious.
yeah, you can, like, she's had a very subtle growth in her character, like,
Mhm.
since the beginning of the series, where she was just like, you know, celebrity,
And a grandizer.
celebrity everything, like, showboating, like, arrogant, you know what I mean? But then coming out of Paranormal Liberation Front War, when she was like, you know, that deciding factor in the fight against Gigantomachia, basically, or at least one of, like, you know, the major obstacles at that point, like, ever since then, she's just felt more and more like an actual hero and not just like, you know, some ditzy celebrity.
Yeah, I
yeah.
love her transition from like Kim K to Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
like, straight up.
that's good.
It's
That's
just,
good.
I love that, and I was looking through that, and then
Kim
I
K to
stumbled
Captain Marvel. That's amazing.
straight up. That's how she be.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man.
She's dead serious now.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm sorry, you've been through a lot, but we can't waste a single day of effort. We gotta go. We can't involve, like, we have a best case scenario with your Aoyama guy, but we cannot, you know, abandon our original plan. We just need to keep going forward. Let's go. And then when I was skimming through that to like look at her lines and stuff, I came across that big spread on 8 and 9 where like the close up on Hatsume, and I was just like, that is just like a very pure moment. I love the eyes; they're very detailed. Like this is a very like heartwarming, like
the cross hatching on the gloves, fire, so fire.
This is the moment where she's like being super real, and that's beautiful. You know, like when people are like, you know what I mean, like
whole page like dedicated to the face while you say something profound and like, you know, character defining. Yeah, that's always gonna slap.
No, it's like one of those moments when you're talking to someone, they say something like very sincere.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, I love you now.
Yeah. It's like, oh. Yeah.
It's like, your sincerity is refreshing and beautiful. That kind
of. Hell yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
Love it.
That's it for me.
I think that's about all I had for my hero as well.
Yeah, I'm good too.
All right, well, with that, I think we can go ahead and get into the final chapter of the night, the Piece de l'Existence, chapter 1036 of One Piece. Bushido is the way of death.
Damn, I didn't know that was the title. What? Hold on, where does it say that? Oh, damn, it does say that right there. That's a sick title.
We start off the chapter with King sliced up. I'm saying he flashes back to Kaido, and they had a moment similar to Zoro and Luffy's moment where, you know, King says to Kaido, like, just keep being the strongest, and I swear I won't lose any fight either. I'll make you the king of pirates, you know. Flashes back to my favorite Zoro moment when he swears to Luffy he'll never lose again.
Yes.
Fire.
So good. And like this little subtle buildup of the Kaido flashback is just like, this is where Oda like really shines to me, is like, we know that we want to learn more about Kaido and his come up and his flashback and whatnot, but Oda can either, you literally just go to the next chapter and all of a sudden you get a stretch of 5 chapters dedicated to the flashback, which I'm sure we'll get for Kaido eventually, but sometimes he'll give you little flashback breaks here and there relevant to like what's going on at any given moment in the actual story at the time, and just make you want it more, like leaving like little like breadcrumb setups that let you get your feet wet a little bit, but you don't fully get submerged yet. And it's like, man, the way that he's handling Kaido, it's like, this is the perfect way to do this throughout the course of the fight, to just give him these little flashbacks. When we finally get the tried and true Kaido flashback, like that's going to be such an epic moment in the storytelling, and it's going to be so massive for people's perception of villains in One Piece. Again, every once in a while you get that just amazing villain story, Doflamingo, fucking Kaido, you know what I mean? And I know that Oda's just ready to drop it, you know what I mean? And it's going to be so incredible.
Yeah.
Just with the build up for it, but
dude.
But yeah, definitely a hype ass moment with Zoro, man. Page 5, panel of him. Guess I might as well become the king of hell with the Rio black lightning coming off the swords, man.
Yeah, he's like, fuck it, I got this Enma. I better lean into it. You know what I'm saying? Boom! Man, he did cut off this dude's wing.
I hate that, man. Whatever, we won't get into it. I just like I hate the last of his species, man. You cut his wing off. Come on, man.
Shouldn't have been the ops. Get away from me. What the fuck you mean? Don't try.
Yeah,
Don't square up if you ain't ready. You know what I'm saying? I lost this eye.
You talk too much shit while trying to kill me.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, and you were
ain't
being
dead.
a dick about it. Yeah.
You ain't dead. Just walk it off.
Yeah,
Walk it off, flying asshole.
Like you were just trying to kill me. You lucky all I took was a wing.
I loved like the reverse Sephiroth moment. Just
yeah, straight up. All I can hear is One Winged Angel just playing right now, especially with this demonic Zoro panel.
Right.
So thank you for having that same moment. It really got to me. I like that now that he has like seemingly mastered Enma's energy can be channeled through him to all his swords.
Ooh.
Which I think is an interesting point because
is that what's
all
going
three
on
swords,
here? Is that like
I mean, Enma stole his energy.
Yeah, steals
when
the
he
hockey.
was when he wasn't having resolve. So if he's resolved and is now mastered and like Enma choosing him as his master, then why wouldn't it lend him its power?
If that's really how it's working, that's fucking cool. Like if it's Enma stealing the hockey or the energy or whatever and him just controlling that siphon and like spreading, whatever that shit is throughout the rest of his blades, like that's actually really cool to think about.
Because they all turn, like all his swords suddenly turn black and start emitting like fire and lightning.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely like Enma.
But it's also like Conqueror's hockey too at the same time. So it's like
it's Conqueror's hockey imbued.
Yeah, like his blades are definitely like leaking that black shit because of Conqueror's hockey, but like still like at the same time, like the idea of Enma, like what you're saying right now is still cool. You know what I mean? Like that's something that I really like thinking about right now because like I hadn't thought about that before, and it's like that's actually a thing, then that's tight.
I love the wordplay on the same page 5. Battle outside the dome, right brain tower. And so the idea that it's to the dome, but also a dome is just funny to me. It's cheeky.
Yeah.
It's cheeky.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And I like the right brain tower, the left brain tower, and I'm like, actually, that's a really cool naming convention.
It is.
For a giant head. Like, I'm stealing that.
Yeah, that's dope.
Next time I have a giant skull.
Yeah. Right and left brain. Fuck it. Do it.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, Oda's really good with naming things. Everything is like named, like most things are named really cool. There are some like funny, like holy shit, what kind of name is that kind of situations.
CP0 about to turn up though, man.
Yeah,
we got Pao Wong. King has just been defeated, and they're like, I like the dialogue we get from here. So the lead performers and Toby Ropo are all down. This is a grave state of affairs. But of course, there are still 2 monsters in this battle who can render all of this valiant effort futile. And we get Big Mom, man.
Big bitch. Still going crazy.
Yeah.
But she's not like starved or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how long it's been since she's ate anything, but she's not going into like that form yet. And like I want to say, like if you're gonna defeat Big Mom, like you got to go through all of like that stage eventually. You know what I mean? Like she's just gonna lose like in her base form essentially.
Her ravenous form.
Yeah, it's like she's eventually got to get to that point because that's where like all the real smoke comes from. You know what I mean? So it's like are we going to see that? Are Law and Kid going to like bring her to a state like that? Is that even how it works? I don't think that. Like it is based on like how hungry you are, right? Like is she gonna use up more energy and put herself in that state? Or is she actually just hungry? Or do you just have to whoop her a bunch and then she just gets more and more pissed and, more and more like hungry and rage? I don't really know exactly how it works, but.
Because if it's based off true hunger, she might not even enter that ability because she was feasting, whining, and dining with Kaido.
Yeah, that's right.
Earlier, so she might be just straight up stuffed and just doesn't have access to that like desperate hunger power.
Yeah, so that's just like a crazy situation if they like fight her the entire time and bring it down and then maybe even potentially defeat her and we just don't see that form again. Like that'd be cool, but it's like, man, I'm gonna feel like it wasn't a real fight then or something, you know what I mean, or something like that. I don't know, it's just like weird to think about.
I mean, I don't know. I think that the the Hunger Pangs is kind of its own thing, you know.
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah. It seems like, you know, a regular like part of her fighting style though. Like she like you got to deal with that. Like people be dealing with that shit whenever they fight. Like Big Mom is what it felt like to me. So it's like if you beat her and she never goes into that mode, it's like I feel like we didn't get true Big Mom. It's like you got lucky. I don't want to feel like my guys are getting lucky, you know. But I mean, if that's the way it has to go because Big Mom is just that dominating, then like that also feels cool too. You know what I mean? It's just like something I never really thought about before until right now.
Yeah.
Hey, the double spread on 8 and 9 is really funny. I just like that how Yamato's still tight with a couple people from her crew, and she's like, "Hey, you want to just like kick his ass?" And he's like, "Yeah, hell yeah, I'm gonna headbutt the shit out of him."
Yeah, no, that was good. It just like adds to the chaos of the situation where you think the battle lines are drawn like so defined, but then like you have all of these like other mini relationships and dynamics that are still playing a factor in like who goes where and who fights who and who gets in the way of who at any point in time. It just like really feels as chaotic as it needs to for a situation like this.
I love how they just talk like they're Pokemon. Too, these numbers, they're just like Roroki, Fuga.
Yeah, just say their name over and over again.
There's like I made them fun looking. Leave me alone.
Going back to Usopp was cool. It kind of just makes me feel like everybody is going to get like a second win kind of like showing, you know what I mean, like throughout the rest of the course, because I know that like a lot of people are like kind of like disappointed in how some of the fights went. I don't really feel any disappointment in how the fights have kind of gone down, really, you know what I mean? Like I might say, you know, like, oh, this could have been longer or whatever, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's like people could get multiple fights and like the cool shit could still be coming, you know what I mean? Like even though they did make the comment about how it all comes down to Big Mom and Kaido, like there's still a lot of enemies out here, you know. And if we're switching back to, you know, Straw Hat perspectives, like here with Usopp where he's doing a little bit more and a little bit more, like you never know, like there could be a big fight for him like right around the corner, you know. And everybody could come back and do some other shit, you know what I mean? Like Frankie, like what the fuck's Frankie doing? Where's Jinbei? You know what I mean? Like we haven't seen these characters for a while for a reason, I want to assume. So I'm like really excited to see Usopp focus again for a little bit in this chapter.
Definitely, for sure. Usopp focus is always good focus.
Yeah.
I think Usopp always comes in some of the most clutch roles.
Yeah, he's the clutch shooter for sure.
And we're gonna get some Izo shine as well. Good shit.
Yeah, Izo pulling up, like this was like so like cool to me. Takes off the fucking, like lets the kimono hang down, like, you know, guns out, you know what I'm saying? Toolied up, you know what I'm saying? Let the Kozuki crest on the back show. That was a great panel.
Kozuki and crossbones, because it's like Farmer Whitebeard.
Oh yeah.
Commander.
Oh damn, is that a combination of both sigils?
Yeah, I think so. Because
no
like
way. Hold on.
it's gotta be. Look at it. It's the crossbones, and he's with Marco, right? Izo was in the pre-time skip.
No, that's just the Kozuki sigil. Yeah, no, they're
but
all
like it's got a little crossbone flare.
Yeah, that's in there. That's in the crest normally.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Weird.
yeah. I had to double check that because
that's in there. Yeah.
Now I'm gonna look up the Whitebeard sigil or Jolly Roger flag. Yeah. Just the cross with his face on it. Yeah.
I thought he.
But that was a cool. Yeah, no, that I was ready for that to be a thing, and I was gonna be like, that's so fucking tight. But I was like, nah, I swear I've seen these crossbones on this Kozuki shit already for non-Whitebeard retainers. Yeah. But that's cool though. Yeah, and then we go to Raizo and Fukurokuju, I think is how you say that.
Yeah.
And they're having a very, I don't know.
Literal standoff.
But yeah, it's kind of boring, but like it's cool at the same time because the writing kind of like, you know, their dialogue back and forth, like kind of like, but it's just like standing there waiting for flames to engulf you. It's like, all right, well, it's ninja shit, so whatever. But it's
ninja
just like,
chicken.
Yeah, ninja chicken, yeah.
Can you take the heat,
yeah,
punk?
I just remember being like, that's all that they're on right now? This is all that this is for a while? Like, that's...
I mean, they're the old crowd. They're doing a lot, but doing nothing at all, you know?
Right,
That's their shtick.
I mean, hey, it's a mirror match. Like, mirror matches, like, remember Metapod versus Metapod episode of
my
fucking...
God.
of Pokemon, yeah.
I won my match by picking up my Metapod and bludgeoning the other.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Damn.
I love Usopp's line, like, it's like, leave us, I'm done for. I said, cool, I'll leave you both the same amount of skin. Hey, wait, what the fuck did I even show up for here? What is up with you guys and wanting to die? Seriously, what the fuck is up with that?
Yeah, like, you samurai are weird as shit.
It's like, you gotta cling to life with everything you got, bro.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Couldn't
it
life
reminds me of
never
like Tokiyuki and that otter face dude from
Yes!
Elusive Samurai. It's like the exact same kind of conversation they were having.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Love that.
Yeah.
And I do like that, like, even Izo actually knows who Usopp is and calls him God Usopp. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
you got real fans, you got people of importance knowing who you be.
It's not just the
like,
joke from the Dressrosa crew. It's like, nah, this is like
Yeah.
spreading outward. Like, he's always kind of had that, like, you know, notoriety ever since like in East Lobby, like Soga King, like Soga King was on the wanted poster, and motherfuckers from outside the arc were like, damn, is that motherfucker Soga King? Like, always got that like extra air of importance to him that like obviously he doesn't entirely deserve, but is still a great character. But he's just always got that moniker that everyone like overestimates him for, and it's like I just love that in his character.
You tried to be too cool for school, and it's backfired on you.
Yeah.
Your tall tales have bit you in the butt once again, bud.
They're about to start coming true.
Dude, he seriously is. And he's kind of jacked now. Like, it's kind of funny. Like, they zoom in on his face where he's, like, you know, looking his worst. But, like, post-time skip, he's like, you know...
He's swole.
He's got some muscle. He's got some muscle. He's got corded up, you know?
Yeah, that Heracule training. Fucking... Got him kind of buffy. Got them gains up. Yeah. Hell yeah, man. What's next? What else?
Last panel, fire with Luffy hitting Kaido with the rock gun, and they're like, "Yep, we having fun now, baby."
Yeah.
Warrior spirit in both of them.
I wonder if it's gonna go into just like Kaido and Luffy specific, like fighting storytelling for a chapter or two. I know that there's still a whole lot going on around them. They're going to switch perspectives pretty often, but I would love to just get. It's been a while since we've had like just like a straight Luffy versus Kaido chapter, you know. So I think that would be great for next week. But I wonder when the Kaido flashback is going to start though, because it's like, man, it's gonna be soon. Like very soon after they switch the whole focus to Kaido and Luffy. Probably start getting it right there once all the other chaotic stuff is kind of starting to wind down. Yeah. Choreography on this is fire. It's like loading up gum attacks, getting interrupted, recovering from the interruption, and then finishing it. Like I love shit like that.
I love the two-handed downward block using the Bagua.
Yes. Like, he just swats it.
He's like, boom! And then he, like, swings over his head. I was like, that's so good.
And he ate that shit, too. He took that straight to the top of the head, but then, like, instantly countered, and they both fall over, and they're like, oh, yeah, this is that real shit.
I think it's interesting that, like, Kaido vaguely looks like Gold Roger.
Oh my god!
And
because like the mustache and the big smile,
the big smile, and I think that he literally is representative of the old generation, you know.
Yeah.
So like Luffy defeating a guy that looks like Gold Roger because he's of that generation, and like really cement the like ascension.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. Dude, man, the CP0 dude, like commenting on Drake's strength was actually pretty cool to see. He's like, that took longer than expected. He was tough, and it's like, oh damn, a little bit of acknowledgement. Like that kind of says a lot inside of the power situation, because I feel like myself included, a lot of people thought that Drake was just like a bum, basically. You know what I mean? And like having the CP0 dude like acknowledge him. He's got a little blood dripping down. You know, he took him to mid diff. Like that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
No, I like that Apu's getting away, and he has pictures, right? He has information, so he might be able to have that incriminating information that might paint the world government in a bad light. Yeah. And I think that's absolutely necessary. And if he has it, he might even have pictures of like, no, he wouldn't have pictures. He's too busy running away. Like Drake being attacked by CP0. I was like, hey, isn't this guy a Marine? Why is he being attacked by a government official?
Oh, sure.
You know, that kind of thing, because that shit sells.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, man.
For sure.
Amazing
I think that's
chapter,
about
dude.
all I had for this
Yeah,
weekend
I was gonna
with
say.
this stuff.
Yeah, I think I'm good too. They just pack so much in these chapters, and it's just like there's so much to talk about, like every single time, no matter what's happening, especially at a climactic point like this. It's like so many areas of just Oda, man. Oda be fitting a lot in these, bro. Like,
Yeah. Imagine if he took his like time with
Yeah.
each scene. We'd
Yeah.
be way further than 1,000 chapters.
oh
Okay,
yeah,
like
like you could
it'd
tell, you
be
could tell he's really started
insanity.
to kind of condense things. It's not
He's
as
taking
spread
that
out as before.
Dr. Stone approach.
He's trying to get this shit
Just-
done, man. He's like, man, I'm doing this I'm going on 30 years by the time I'm done with this shit, bro. It's time to wrap this motherfucker up.
Right.
My series has had children by now.
Right, straight up. But yeah, I'm good on One Piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
shit.
I think that'll be it for this episode of the Project Manga Podcast. Thank you all so much for watching. If you did, be sure to slap a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more fire-ass weekly content. Make sure you comment down below. Let us know what you thought of this weekend jump, and just chop it up with us down there. Yeah. Like we said before, take a look in that description box down below where you can find links to any and all of our individual social media accounts such as Twitter, online communities like Discord, audio listening platforms to consume the podcast on, as well as our online shop or our Patreon to support the podcast. And like we said before, new merch on the online shop, collaborated with some awesome Twitter artists to make that. And it's kind of thematical of anime and manga tropes that you see commonly. So
Check 'em
check that
out.
out. We really appreciate that. And this will be another incredible episode of the Project Manga Podcast. Wrapping up, I'm your host, Eagle.
Knox.
And I'm Mellow Yes.
Sarabada.